Microphone test. Oh, this is not the chat room. Whoops. Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I am tired, disorganized, and yeah, I don't even know what else to say. That's just how I am today. I literally have food on my lap because I didn't have enough time between stream start and now, or between when I got home from work and the stream start to make and eat food. Thankfully though, today is a day that I was not planning on doing some intensive like a video game. So, those of you on YouTube, you'll hear what I'm about to do. I doubt anyone's watching on stream, but I'll still say it anyways. Today I am doing something a little bit different than my usual. I am going to go and just watch and just basically comment on the videos that I have released on the PlushieSpeaks channel as of right now. The reason I am doing this is because I want to be able to make a video where I retrospectively go over these videos in a bit more depth on PlushieSpeaks. Especially since the planned video of me talking about scammers is going a little bit slower than expected. again. So that's what today is. It's just kind of like a watch party, plus I give some reactions, and I'll go more into depth on the videos like in that video. So now we switch to this screen, and we're going to, I am skipping the podcasts here, and I am also skipping anything that's audio only or the unedited versions of videos, just because they're kind of unnecessary. So that means, plus I did the podcast off stream because that 1 hour 43 minute podcast with me and Fluffy, there is a lot to it that is just honestly painful. So instead, I'm going to go over the first PlushieSpeaks episode, the PlushieSpeaks personal Minecraft history, which, yeah, that's what my first like commentary-ish video is. Sorry, I'm getting texted at the same time. But yeah, so my first like video that has editing is this one, which is just me kind of talking about my personal history with the game Minecraft. Quite simple. So let's just dive into it today. And before we begin, I would shut up me. I have not finished talking. Basically, I am going to pause during parts of the video, kind of give thoughts if I have any, or just to criticize myself because I can. But for the most part, this is just going to be watching and whatnot. And hey, YouTube, before you yell at me for rebroadcasting my own videos, these are my own videos. So it is okay for me to rebroadcast my own videos. Same with you, Twitch. It does not matter if I do not make very deep commentary on them. These reactions are reactions to my own content, which means that it does not matter if they are transformative or not, because they are videos solely owned by me. We got that out of the way? Cool. Now to treat this like a Twitch streamer that does not care about copyright and eat while I am supposed to be reacting. Before we begin, I would like to point you to these videos that will be linked into the description. I tried to make a podcast of sorts with Fluffy on 2 different occasions. To be frank, editing for the second one didn't go so well, and the other one, well, it was so incoherent that I just decided not to upload an actual edited version of it. But the weird thing about that is when I was rewatching the second podcast, I swore I remember editing that video. So I'm shocked that even in here I'm mentioning that I did not do so. So, weird thing. That's all. If you want to listen to both of us ramble about Pokemon and Henry Stickmin for the first one, and Pokemon, my thoughts and her thoughts on this Diamond and Pearl remakes and stuff like that, please go to the links below. And if you are wondering, here is the picture that is talked about in the Diamond and Pearl video. But, side note, that Diamond and Pearl like remake speculation that's in that podcast video, God, it made me depressed, because despite having worries, I was so optimistic. Oh, you sweet summer child passed me. Hello there, my name is Plush. I am a internet person who is very well known for being a furry. And for food in my mouth. But my goodness, why did I do that? That was not even funny. Don't know what else to say about it. That wasn't funny. For my first video, I just wanted to kind of ramble on about Minecraft for a while. Everyone knows what Minecraft is. I was in middle school during 2011. 2011 is known as when Minecraft officially released 1.0 and got outside of beta. I didn't hear about Minecraft until after it had already released. So I'm not one of those OG Minecraft players that have played since before the Ender Dragon. But I am one that has played since long before many other players still, despite that. Actually first heard about it at the very end of middle school when someone who lived in the same area as me tried to explain what the game was, and did very poorly, to be honest. I didn't start playing Minecraft immediately because I was a broke little kid who didn't have money. And so my first playing of Minecraft in any capacity was with the old Minecraft Classic. My first time playing a Minecraft. Not just my first time on Minecraft. Come on, me. For those of you who don't know what Minecraft Classic is, Minecraft Classic was a web-based version of Minecraft available on the official site for a few years, in which you could play for free, but it was basically a creative mode where you only had certain blocks available to you. And there was no mobs. The multiplayer just consisted of people building things. It was very basic. For the most part, that was my experience for a while, other than watching some videos on it, which led me to understand the game much more. The first time I played actual Minecraft was back during the 1.2.3 version of the game. Wait, I just realized I never mentioned what videos I had watched, or who I watched. That would have been like nice information to know. Instead, I'm just like, I watched some videos. Moving on. Unfortunately, at the time, I was still a broke little kid who didn't have money. So, at the time, I used to play on a cracked version of Minecraft. I don't remember the website that I originally got the launcher from. I don't remember anything about where exactly I got the launcher or any of that from. I just remember that I had it, and so I played that. So, if you don't... Just as a side note, I just noticed that is 2 times where I've put like a text in editing to signify something that I say being changed. For the first one, it was the fact that Minecraft Classic was re-released in 2019, and the second one being that the cracked version of Minecraft I used to play was called Mineshafter. Why didn't I take second takes? I should probably have done second takes. I don't know what cracked versions of Minecraft are. They are versions of Minecraft where you can play the game, but your skin is not shown to people who own the official version of Minecraft. You also are unable to connect to official servers. You can only connect to cracked ones. On top of that, your skin that you do see is saved on a web server, meaning that you have to be online to be able to... So our regular Minecraft skins see it to begin with. This wasn't entirely terrible. It was an introduction to Minecraft for me, and it was how I started really liking the game. For additional context, this was back way when I was either playing on my grandma and grandpa's computer, which I have no info on what type of computer it was other than it was a desktop, or on this touchscreen laptop. At first that doesn't sound bad, but you gotta think about the time this was. This was when Windows 7 was around, not Windows 8. This was a laptop that had an experimental touchscreen feature. So this touchscreen did not work great. The laptop itself was still good, and for 1.2 it ran decently, which was... just as a side note, doesn't matter which desktop specifically, me. Surprising. I guess another thing to bring up is that my Minecraft skin that I used all the way up until basically this year has been the same skin. Wait, what year was this? 2 years ago. 2021. Really? I made my plushie skin in 2021? I'm shocked by that one. I thought that it was earlier. I got all the way back then that I used for crack. Now, I don't remember which site I got it off of originally. but I got it from one of those sites that give you multiple different Minecraft skins to choose from. I looked up one that was some sort of soldier and found it, chose it, and I've used it since. I have altered it sometimes, and I don't know.
God, my editing in this is like either none at all or too fast paced to keep up with.
Who made the original.
I'm hoping that my editing is better in future videos. We're gonna have to see.
I've tried looking up the skin ever since then, and nothing has ever came up. So I just consider it sort of my skin, considering I've also never seen anyone else wear it. Which, you know, that's sort of a interesting thing, is the fact that my skin was sort of unique without it being made by me. It wasn't until partway through 1.5 that I actually bought Minecraft. Which, yes, I did buy Minecraft Java Edition at that time. I don't really have much memory.
Yes, I bought Minecraft in 1.5, and yes, I bought the Java version in 1.5. Come on. That is not something that needed to be reiterated, me. Oh.
Of much differences other than now I actually played on official servers once in a while. I guess like talking about 1.2 to 1.5, when I played on the cracked servers, I never really was a part of any communities back then. I used to just hop on a cracked server, sort of make my own little base, and just check on it once in a long while. Usually these servers had a few plugins, such as Locket. Usually what I would do is I would just set up a couple chests, maybe a furnace, put some signs on the chest so that no one else can access it, and that was it. I didn't really build houses. I was always super afraid of people just destroying it, because on cracked servers back then, that's what people did all the time, was just destroy everything. And so,
Side note, I still don't build houses most of the time. I build squares.
at that time, I never really got into the building when it came to the multiplayer. And in single player, well, I mean, I played it, but most of the time I was just screwing around. I never really built anything huge. I did try making a submarine and a boat at one point, but it honestly did not look great, and
You know, I'm actually surprised that I still had those pictures. I might still have those pictures. I'm curious to check that, but I'm gonna let the video continue.
I just never really did much with it. I will say, I don't know when exactly in time this was, but sometime after 1.5, I did start joining more communities. Usually these were servers that would be up for a couple months and then disappear for who knows what reasons. A lot of these were ones that I found through Engine and other sites like that.
By the way, engine as in ENJIN, I believe. I don't clarify that in here, I don't believe.
Usually there wasn't really much to it. I would join a server, enjoy the townie and all that stuff, and that was that. I would usually play more single player because these servers would come and go at a very quick rate, surprisingly. I'm not sure why. The only reason I can think is maybe these servers just never really had much of an influence. I didn't like big public servers much because you were more likely to be griefed, and I didn't like minigames so much back in the day because my computer couldn't handle the multiple different aspects of the minigames. What really started getting it for me,
What did I flash on screen there? I completely forgot.
the multiple different aspects of the minigames. What really and I didn't like minigames so much back in the day because my computer couldn't handle the multiple different aspects of the minigames. What
Just like how my recording software can't handle recording this gameplay. I'm gonna be honest, I have not been paying super close attention to the visuals of my own video, but it seems like it's been running fine so far. Why did I put this in here? Is it because of some layer?
really started getting it for me was playing
Or maybe
just
the start of the
survival.
video?
I played a lot of survival back in the day and even today. To the point where I had times where I had actually played on hardcore just to try and get through it. Most of these times didn't go out well. But I also started recording some of these times. I remember way back then using Bandicam. If anyone remembers using Bandicam, that 10-minute limit was dreadful to say the least. And having the Bandicam logo on all of your videos, it really just showed things. Of course,
Showed what things? Also, that is something that I can say I've definitely done. I'm doing much better about nowadays because I use OBS. But like, that's been a thing I've been using since like what 2016.
Bandicam I don't exactly consider a bad recording software. It just was very lackluster for what it was. That and also just the fact that it wasn't that flexible and I had the free version. I can bet that the paid version probably works really well. I just never have bought it. At some point in time, I also joined a server that was known under a few different names. There was Fire Truck Craft and there was Shadow Realms. This server was one that consistently came back up instead of just staying dead forever. There were some servers that I had joined before that they would die and they would stay dead. Shadow Realms, Fire Truck Craft, and the other names it went under didn't, because the server owner had a lot of people joining a Skype circle. Now,
Side note: if it changes names, whenever it changed names, it did technically count as a new server because it was always a new world being made when it did that. So I'm kind of incorrect in saying that it never like went down like other servers did, because by all technicalities, yeah, it did.
let me remind you, this is like years ago, back when Skype was awful on the computer. Anytime you would have Skype
Still is.
open, it would make your entire computer lag behind. It was like if Google Chrome had every tab open playing videos and eating up your entire RAM and your neighbor's RAM. But it was what we had. And
I mean, that's certainly a meme, I guess, that I made.
if anything, the fact that it was available at
I don't know, it got me, despite having seen it before.
all to me was kind of surprising, because this was honestly what got me into figuring out the different types of online communication that there are. Of course, Skype being the first meant I also started with one of the worst. But everyone has to start somewhere. Interestingly, on this server, I was so well known that I was just kind of given mod after a while. Of course, this was after a few iterations of the server world, and I didn't really use the mod powers much, but I was still a mod. I can point that out as being something I did as a kid. But at one point, the server went.
I said that, like, jokingly to be like, yeah, I was a mod as a kid. But, like, it's after, like, an extra 2 years, I look back at that and go, well, wait a second, I probably shouldn't be proud of that. Thankfully, nothing bad came out of me being a mod on that server. It just sort of happened.
Down. The owner tried making another server, but it never went back up. I do think it was probably due to some sort of background issue he had, because there were a couple of times where the server was attacked by a group known as OCGA, and I have no clue on why or who they were or anything like that. I don't remember when in time this was, but I also did get Pocket Edition of Minecraft very early on, way back when it was still very not functional, to say the least, and there were very, very little things you could do. I got the game cheap, got it on my phone, and so to this day I have Pocket Edition for a very cheap price, and it's worth it now. But oh boy, back then you really just had no use of it. So at the time I didn't use it. Nowadays,
I think I should clarify what I mean here. When I got Pocket Edition, it was when the world size was like basically like a 2x2 chunks size,
and all you had was some overworld like stuff, and you didn't even have things like the nether reactor or anything like that. It was literally just a small island, and that's about it. I don't even remember if there was a survival part to it. Ah, yes, hello Ridley. This is my VTuber model. I don't use it often. I'm doing it today because instead of a game, I'm going through my videos over on the PlushieSpeaks YouTube channel and giving small critiques, just as a like, because I'm making a video for that channel that's just going to be a retrospective of over the years. So today is just basically a watching videos, giving initial points and critique, and just reaction to my old stuff, if you're wondering. Anyways, continuing video. It's nice to have. I still haven't truly used it much. 1.7 was an interesting update for me because that was the update that I think I played the most up until probably ever, actually. As you can tell, this is one of the earlier videos, and this was only 2 years ago. Oh, I am definitely cringing hard, and the fun thing is this is not even that old of a video, relatively. 2 years ago. Back what I say. This was probably the update that I played the most in the history of Minecraft. So 1.7 was a big update, and I do not remember why. But God, I say 1.7 was a big update, and I don't know why. When I could have gone onto like the Minecraft wiki and actually checked. Come on. It was also the last update that my laptop was going to be likely able to handle, as 1.8 coming out later at who knows what date was going to. I couldn't even check the update. I couldn't check when 1.8 came out. Be probably too much for my graphics card to handle. This was. Oh wait, that's the actual screenshot from my old
probably
PC.
Too much for my graphics.
Yeah, so just a little context for you, Ridley. I was mentioning how I played on a touchscreen laptop from the Windows 7 era for the most part. And so this is like the message I would get during 1.7 that basically said that, hey, 1.8 you might not be able to do because it's an old graphics card. To handle. This was also the last update before the combat update, which really screwed with me, let me tell you. And the combat update screwed with a lot of people. That stuff too. 1.7 was probably when I first really started looking into mods for Minecraft. Mods, I said that. Now, back at the time, there was only one mod loader for the game, Forge. Forge is a Minecraft mod loader that lets you play mods. That sentence is not confusing at all. Literally, I did not need to put that sentence in there. Time, modding was huge, and it was even huge before I started, but this was when I really looked into it. I didn't know much about it, but I like to just throw stuff together and all that stuff. Oftentimes, I would go to like older versions. Yeah, it is a bit of self-torture. Also, for a little bit of context, all those pictures are ones that are, I believe I still have, that are from when I, like, was really messing with mods, but also when I started trying to, way back when, long before this, try to make, mod, like, reviews on a different channel. That channel is now long gone, but we'll get to that. I have a video actually talking about that, so I'm gonna save that for later. Versions of Minecraft and Modern actually. So yeah, I think the one thing I remember doing the most back then when it came to mods was just tree capitator, because being able to just pull out an axe, chop down a whole tree was nice. But honestly, back at the time, I didn't really do much. Do I have automatic captions on this? Okay, I doubt that the captions are going to be correct, but we're going to have captions on. Because I say some of this stuff way too fast or mumble out the end of the sentence. After 1.8, my laptop really stopped being able to handle Minecraft as a whole. Even if it wasn't for the fact that OpenGL 2 was going to be required at some point, 1.8 just kind of wrecked it. So I stopped playing Minecraft on the computer for a little. I should probably clarify, when I say I mean like 1.7.10 ran at like a 20 FPS at max, and 1.8 was like a 3 FPS at max. But by this time, I was already playing on the PS3 and the 360. I don't remember when I first started playing on the PS3. I know that I've had it for a while, and honestly, I have no memory of how much of that I really played. I played it more on 360, despite not even owning a 360 up until maybe 2015 or so, maybe 2014. Yeah, clarification, 2015. I don't remember. I just know that I didn't own my own Xbox for the longest time. I just played Minecraft at other people's houses, which is kind of funny. This was the main version of Minecraft that I played for a while because of the fact that my computer couldn't play it. And to be fair, I played it a lot still, whether it be on the PS3 or 360. I even had the city texture pack, and I had one of the Christmas skin packs that houses the Parka Steve skin, which I use for console version. The biggest, which I still use on occasion for Bedrock, thing that really came out of this would have been when I still played Minecraft, but started to fall off of it at the end of the PS3 and 360 era, because I started playing a lot of other games. Now, obviously, I played a lot of games other than Minecraft at this time too. Like for the PS3, I played things like Little Big Planet, Call of Duty, whatever. Same with 360, playing Call of Duty or Halo or whatever else under the sun there is, Grand Theft Auto 5. Minecraft was still a rotation game that I played a lot with Burnsy and Hunter, and it's a game that we still sometimes play. When Windows 10 first started coming out, it was sort of a weird time. At the time, I still had the little laptop and it couldn't play Minecraft. It could barely do anything, actually. Something about it was making it fall apart. And so, when I got the offer for updating the laptop from Windows 7 to Windows 10, I went, sure, why not? This was a bad idea, as yep, bad idea. That computer could not handle Windows 10 whatsoever. The upside to this, though, was along with me having gotten the Xbox 360 version for free, for the fact that the 360 was not exactly mine to begin with, but given to me by a family member. But when clarification on that, the Xbox 360 version, the version I have is like the actual physical disc, and that was owned by an aunt and uncle who left their Xbox and games at a different aunt's house, who then that aunt let me have it. It's complicated. Windows 10 edition in the beta was given to anyone that had Windows 10 for free. And so, even though I Windows 10 and had a Java account, I really didn't use it at the time. I did test it and it sucked back in the beta. My computer could not handle it. It still was how I got Bedrock Edition on the computer. And so, another way for me to play Minecraft nowadays that I definitely enjoy nowadays, Bedrock on the computer is so much better than Windows 10 version back then. And the introduction of crossplay makes it worth it for me because I play more on the computer. So I can still play with Burnsy and her when, say, they're playing on the PS4. So, even though Windows 10 edition really was terrible, to say the least, it was still a good thing for me. At least later down the road. When the PS4 came out, I was one of those people that didn't get it immediately, but I got it very early on. And oh, and also, side note, Ridley, if you're there, feel free to, like, poke, ask questions, or even criticize the video yourself as well. Because, trust me, I do not care if you criticize it. when I got it, that was most of what I played for the longest time. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, Minecraft. I mean, that was basically it, but you get the point. These were the games that dominated a few years of my life, with Grand Theft Auto 5 probably being the biggest culprit. The upside to this was the PlayStation 4 had this built-in function where you were able to stream directly from the console to Twitch, YouTube, or other services. This was where I would say my Twitch streaming habit, if you could call it that, really kicked off, because
Yep, that's right. I first started on the PS4 when it comes to streaming.
I would just stream anything, anywhere, whatever. I'm just playing Grand Theft Auto 5, sure, why not? I'm just playing Minecraft with the boys, sure, why not? There wasn't too much for Minecraft at the time for me. I did play it once in a while with Burnsie and her. But again, most of the time here was dominated by Grand Theft Auto 5. And part of the reason for this when it came to the computer was because even though I did get a computer at this time for college, it was bad. Let me introduce to you the dark age of computers. Even though I had a small laptop that had Windows 10 that couldn't run, I decided I needed something better for college. And so I got what is considered an all-in-one PC. What this is a computer where the tower of the computer is integrated in with the screen, so you don't need a separate screen and computer itself. You still had to plug in a mouse and keyboard. These things were crap, especially the one I have. They did not.
And just as a side note, I do still have that all-in-one, and I'm only just recently about to take it apart for any parts that I may want to use for other projects in the future.
Not run well, especially mine, and it came with Windows 8. I don't think I need to really explain more on that, but it could not handle Minecraft considering it could barely handle Firefox. I do not have that PC anymore. Sometime deep into the
Oh, I say that I don't have the PC anymore. Okay, I'm actually going to drop a little extra lore. That all-in-one, the reason why I did not have it at that time was because I had lended it to my parents who were going to use it. They ended up not using it, and I ended up having it back. And so I used it for a while as like a server to test Linux stuff on. And now I'm thinking about taking it apart.
PS4's life cycle, I played a bit more Minecraft, but I also, partway through University of Toledo, got a laptop because of just how bad the all-in-one was. This was sort of when desktop Java Minecraft got reignited for me. This would have been when minigames were still a thing on the PS4, before crossplay was a thing for it. So I don't remember exactly the version of Minecraft that I got the laptop for, but I know that I first started trying to play Minecraft again at 1.10. This was not great. 1.10 was still pretty laggy on even that laptop, but it was excusable because it was able to run 1.7 and furthermore was able to run modded Minecraft in 1.7. This was when modded Minecraft really kicked off for me because I started making friends with a lot of people who loved playing different mod packs, usually 1.7 mod packs. The biggest I can think of is obviously Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved. This was the mod pack that got me into actually figuring out how things worked, because not only did I have a bit of a community of people to help me figure it out, but this was also just generally a good mod pack, let's be honest. Tinker's Construct, Thermal Foundation and Expansion. You had Thaumcraft, even though I didn't really like Thaumcraft, it was still a good mod. There was so many other good ones too. Interestingly, this was what got me into immersive engineering, that one mod that everyone else seems to hate. But unfortunately, for a time, after the community I was in fell apart, I started falling back out of modded. Of course, this wasn't the end of Minecraft entirely, but there was another period in time where I didn't play much Minecraft. In fact, I played a whole lot more Grand Theft Auto 5, Gary's Mod, CSGO, and stuff like that. I did.
Which, to clarify, Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS4 and the other games on PC.
want to come back to Minecraft, but it just sort of was on the side for a while, with the most of me playing it being on the PS4 still. 1.12 was a bit of a different story. Something about that version of Minecraft brought me back enough to where I still played the Java version and modded versions of it a bit more regularly. I would say that I still played modded Minecraft and all that stuff, but honestly, I stopped for a while on and off. When I did play, it was on 1.12 still. And so I'm very behind on, say, the modern updates because I was stuck on 1.12.
Quote, modern updates being 1.17. We are now on 1.20, about to go into 1.20.1. Either that or 1.20.1 just released, one of the two.
And before. Because you gotta think, by the time I was playing 1.12 as a catch-up, 1.14 was already a thing. By the time I started looking into 1.16 as a whole, 1.17 came out. And yeah, I guess the main point of this part is to say that Minecraft 1.17 is sort of my return, interestingly enough. 1.12 is still like a...
That's a lie. I ended up falling out of Minecraft again for a bit. I'm back into it again.
Very good modding spot, but because the modding community seemed to have a split after that, it's kind of hard to find a good balance for mods. You have the Fabric mod loader now and the Classic Forge. Fabric is a more lightweight mod loader. It's a lot faster, but it's not good at heavy modding. Forge is more good for heavy modding, but it can be very slow, especially when it comes to loading, and they both have their issues. Of course, nowadays, I don't have too much I can really say. I do still play modded, still set up mod packs, and that'll probably be a recurring theme for a while. Who knows? As of right now,
Yep.
I'm trying to catch up on 1.17. Might play a bit of 1.16 for modded, and I kind of want to try and distance myself from older versions, just so that I can catch up, if that makes sense. That's about all I can really say on it, because otherwise, it's just, yeah, I play Minecraft, so what? I guess the one thing I can say other than that is Bedrock version. I do play once in a while with Burnsie and Hunter on that because they like to play on console more. But I honestly prefer Java. Now, that's not to say that Bedrock's bad. It's really good. But it is missing a few things, especially the ability to mod, and trying to figure out how to transfer worlds around is just a headache. So that's all sort of stuff that I hope that they sort of change.
Bring back mini games.
That's
Ow. Okay. I'm hoping that's something that I have not done much in later videos, because every time that's happened, it has jump scared me and hurt me.
about all I got, though. Who knows how the future of Minecraft will be for me. I did make a new skin for it. I mean, look at it. It's my persona.
The plushie skin in low res. I'll need to show off that Minecraft skin a bit better. This is a terrible picture.
It works better if you have this mod installed. Please check out this mod. I didn't make it, but it's a good mod called Ears.
I'm a furry, I get it.
But who knows what the future holds. If anything, I'm just going to keep doing what I always did. Bounce around, do what I want to do, play Minecraft once in a while, play another game once in a while, come back to Minecraft, and just, that's how it is. I may as well just end the video here. I don't have much to add. I guess, I hope my first video entertained. It's just sort of me explaining my history with Minecraft, which I can't imagine is too exciting. But if you liked it, please like. I recommend subscribing, but that's up to you. And have a great day.
What an outro. Yeah, so one of the main things with that is just I definitely decided to do the lean into the mic and say things in a way that's loud without realizing that, no, that's actually not a good idea. A bit too much in that. The other thing, which I'm gonna point out, video is kind of pointless. No one cares about
my history with the video game Minecraft. But at the same time, I just kind of wanted to make it, so whatever. As you see, the video was 24 minutes long, and for a first video, it definitely had a lot of work that needed to be done to it. I probably could have done better. The editing in it, while not awful, and not the worst editing I've done, was definitely lackluster in some areas. But I have one video that we're going to look at today that is actually unlisted because I severely hate how lazy my own editing got into this video. So, for this video, this one is called Fiddle of Fox Cancelled. PlushieSpeaks. So, a little bit of background. This video was made during the height of the cancellation of Fiddle of Fox on Twitter, who is someone that I had followed at the time. Now, I'm not going to mention much about it right now, but just as a little spoiler for you, I unlisted this video not because I disagree with the points in it, but because I think my editing job in it is so terrible that I am genuinely ashamed of how bad it is. Of course, it could be worse, but we're gonna watch it.
This doesn't fit right. So I started scripting.
I also probably should have cut that down by like an entire 10 seconds. Don't know why it's so long.
This video on Friday, which today is Sunday afternoon. I
just noticed my headphones might be feeding back into the microphone. Let's not do that.
started writing this at work. I have paper right here even of just what I wrote down.
Oh yeah, this video is scripted, but not scripted well.
And to be honest, this wasn't exactly something I was expecting to put as my second video ever on the channel. I have plans for what I actually wanted to do, and I'll do that later. But this was sort of something that popped up and I kind of wanted to talk about. So, I actually had to check the script too. This is why I need a script. But before I begin, for those of you who don't know who I am, hello, my name is Plush. I don't normally wear this on like recordings or whatever. I just kind of wanted to today because today's topic is sort of furry related. Mostly,
I say as a furry.
it's about a furry artist on Twitter who recently got canceled. Usually a topic like this wouldn't be something that I really care about. I'm someone that...
Also, I don't know why I go into this video saying, oh yeah, making a video talking about someone that gets canceled is not something I would talk about, when I literally am someone that not only watches that sort of stuff a lot of the time, but I would 100% want to talk about it if it's related to someone that is bigger. I just don't do it often because I don't take the time to do it.
I just sort of do my own thing. I follow some artists and just go about my day. And usually when someone...
I turned off my headphones, my other headphones, and now these headphones are quiet for some reason. Ah, that's because the actual audio on my PC turned way down. Whoop. Something's wrong. Ah! Ah, what is going on? Sounds like a machine gun in the headphones, and I had to throw my headphones off right there. What is wrong with you? Okay, let's see. Will it work? Nope, it is feedbacking for some reason. Ah. That's why. Okay. Audio issues fixed. Let's continue. I forgot whatever point I was gonna make.
This situation through a video by Harley TBS, who is a sort of commentary channel. I don't know the best way to put it other than that. They're still a bit newer and they've been in their own controversies. But long story short, I didn't even know this was a thing until I found it. So, also by the way, Harley, if you haven't already, you still need to put your sources into your description. I had to find this stuff myself during the workday.
Just as a side note, I'm pretty sure, I am going to double check, but I'm pretty sure that Harley TBS to this day has not put the sources in the description. Let's see. Channel, Twitter, Patreon, Ko-fi, Discord. Second channel, channel art, Bisect hosting. Nope, no sources. God dang it, Harley. Good job. You did a good job. Which also, this video is still 2 years ago, July of 2021.
I probably shouldn't have done, but whatever. So, the person I'm talking about is Fiddle a Fox, which I'm assuming that's how you say it because it's Fiddle and then A and then Fox. Fiddle a Fox. Take notes. So
that was a jab at the fact that Harley could not pronounce the name.
The entire situation started with a Twitter thread released by an account called Fiddle/Cactus Callout, which is the @ of callout_9. It joined this month and has not posted anything beforehand, which means that it's basically a burner account. So
literally text of me.
I'd say at first
that
shouldn't be too much of a thing, but when you look into the first tweet that they post out, it's as reads, and quote, Fiddle a Fox is a bigoted, hateful person. We have compiled a document to show the furry community the racist, sexist, transphobic views held by Fiddle a Fox, and the hurt she continues to actively cause throughout the community behind closed doors. And then attached on this tweet is a Google document going through all the evidence. Now, I'm going to start off, this tweet doesn't tag Fiddle a Fox, which is a bit weird. And again, new account, so everything should be taken with a grain of salt because we don't know who this is going into it. I'll get into that later because there is more to it than this. Now,
oh boy, I don't know why I got so lazy with editing screenshots in and whatnot on this video, but it is bad. What of this stuff is even still up on? Is the callout Twitter still up? It is. You know, that is actually kind of shocking. Okay, so the Fiddle Fox callout is still up. The document is still up. And I believe Fiddle herself, or himself, one of the two, is still up. Yep. So, has not posted since this incident from the looks of it. Or actually, no. There is an update. I'm actually just kind of curious for myself now. What is this? Oh yeah, this is stuff that was talked about in someone else's video that I will talk about more in my video that we'll be talking about. But yeah, so
I am not
continuing.
Defending Fiddle a Fox when I go through this document, as I'll explain her transgressions during the situation later on. But I wanted to go through some of the issues with the document first. So it starts with a Please be aware that the screenshots below contain extreme language triggering warnings for transphobia, racism, slurs, ableism, acephobia, and rape. I'm assuming that I'm not actually allowed to say that stuff on YouTube, but I'm not monetized. I don't care. So, then it goes through the different ats of Fiddle the Fox, which includes Cactus, Fiddle, Avery, also formerly known as Experimenty, Cactus Candle, and Aspect Morion. And at the time of writing their document, Fiddle was at 35k followers, which it has definitely gone down an entire 10k since, and is a prominent member of the furry art community on Tumblr and Twitter for several years, which is true, but I didn't find out about Fiddle until about like 2019. So for me, I don't have so much attachment. So they also put a we do not want or approve of needless harassment at Fiddle or anyone else. It's apparently supposed to be an awareness. So the first link they give is the links to all videos proving this Discord is Fiddle's, and gives a trigger warning for transphobia. Opening the link gives us nothing. Certainly a good start to a cancellation. This is the first real big.
Okay, so I know that I already mentioned that the editing in this was bad, but my god, I couldn't have cut that down just a little bit. Like, come on.
Issue is just the fact that there is absolutely nothing on here for the linking the Discord to Fiddles. Now, again, this doesn't like now again, this doesn't save Fiddle.
What did I put there?
Like
Talk is hard. I didn't cut that out. I just put talk is hard.
now again, this doesn't save Fiddle the Fox because of her actions later on. But for a Twitter call out, this is a terrible call. So now we have a link to an archive of her old Twitter showing her saying for Discord, and then an imager screenshot. And if you open these, then yeah, it brings up a web.archive.org, which shows the old Twitter account with a tweet from May of whenever saying their Discord. Now, for the web archive, this is when they're still at Vaporeon, so also take that with a little bit of salt, but we'll get to that. The imager link is basically the same thing, so there is no real issue there. Her current name is Fiddle.
Yeah.
This is all.
I am turning up the speed on my own video. We're turning it to 1.5, and we're gonna turn on subtitles.
Stuff. Okay, so this next paragraph is talking about how Fiddle
I am sorry, me. You talk way too slow in this.
the same last four numbers for her how Fiddle has the same last four numbers for her Discord as the account listed on the screenshots. And they point out a few good, strong evidence about it being the same account. Without Nitro, you cannot change the numbers after your name. If you have Nitro, you can change the numbers, but then the numbers shuffle again when you don't have Nitro. And they point out that this count and KJ, they point out how this count and Fiddle do not have any sort of Discord Nitro, and they have the same number. Anyone?
I am gonna say I am now depressed because KJ is in the video and he passed away last year in the summer.
Who has interacted with her on Discord can also just find her name and see her tag in person. And that is true as well. Because if you share a server with anyone, you can just click on their name and just check what their Discord tag is. That's pretty normal. For safety and privacy reasons, we have blocked out all other people in the conversations. All of them have come forward with this evidence because they do not want to be like this anymore and are willingly taking a stance against what they've seen from Fiddle. This is a, for me at least, real contentious sort of statement. First off, if everyone that is bringing these claims out is anonymous, then the claims should only be treated as such. And so we don't know if those are credible claims. We don't know who these people are. It's so easy to just make, like, it could all just be one person who had some bad interactions, or it could be someone that was even trying to provoke Fiddle for all we know. This is also a point that we'll get back to later. Evidence of transphobia. And so from here, we have some, bleh. Jeez. So from then on, we get to the actual screenshots, which shows Fiddle chatting and basically just giving multiple different terrible takes. Now,
I really just did not cut stuff out. I just put talk is hard. God.
some of the examples here are, I know I'm cis, but the trans movement is such shit. And if a lesbian won't date a trans woman, she's bigoted. But most lesbians don't want to deal with it. God forbid you actually say that, though. I'm not even someone who is like mad or upset when trans people say I hate cis people, because I get it, and also being cis isn't my identity, but God, I'm just sick of them constantly making everything about them. And so on, and so, KJ, ow, and so on and so forth. There's more on here. Basically, for the transphobia, it seems more just Fiddle complaining about the attention that many trans people bring upon themselves. Which, whatever your opinion on that is, that's on you. KJ, no, do not chew on the cord. No, bad.
I really did not cut out anything. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what else I can say other than, yeah, I really did not cut out stuff that should have been just cut out. Including my cat clawing me and getting up onto my thing, and me messing up lines, and me just...
A lot of these screenshots are just Fiddle by themselves. The first tweet that we... or not... The first screenshot we get that is not is about half all the way down on the second page of screenshots, in which it starts with Fiddle sharing a screenshot of a tweet to another Discord user complaining about the not comfy with they them for someone. Now, I don't know who the screenshot, like the person in the screenshot of it, but the document members clearly forgot to blur out that. Basically, the other person in this says that John is going by they them too, and then Fiddle says that the issue is that the person is saying they don't go by they them, which, I mean, I guess I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to pronouns, I'm someone that's okay with all of them, so I honestly have a hard time understanding what people like or dislike. But my big point here is it seems like whoever the reply is obviously someone that isn't going to point them out that quick. The next screenshot is also a bit of a weird one, but I don't think there's much here to talk about. There's also the one that many people have pointed out for her saying the word fake boy, which I guess is a transphobic slang word that I have not heard about until this drama. And the reply is talking about the profile that Fiddle's talking about, where they...
Yeah, so just as a side note, the slur fake boy refers to a female to male trans being basically called not an actual guy. And ironically, I still have not heard that slur used outside of this drama, which is weird.
Just say their profile says they're he now, he them, but they also have a female persona. Basically almost agreeing with Fiddle in this case, which is probably a good reason why they want to stay anonymous, because there's definitely some skeletons in the closet for them too. For acephobia, there is only one, and I'm going to be honest, it's just a weird Discord message as a whole. And then for the racism one, the main point of contention a lot of people have pointed out is the shock collar statement.
So I'm also going to point out, I had scrolled through everything on that in like video format rather than put up screenshots, and because of that, you have no clue where I am on the screenshots when I'm talking in the video, because I'm already past the screenshots visually, and I'm just reading them.
Quote by Fiddle's Discord, and this is apparent: "Black people need to wear shock collars or they'll fly into a murderous rage and rape your daughters." Now, obviously, this is a very terrible statement to make, and this is one that she actually goes forward and defends, and we'll get to that. But there is so many other tweets about, or there's so many other Discord messages where Fiddle says different terrible things about black people, to where even if this one is defendable in some way, he also just said, "I hate black people" outright. So I think that's a terrible argument. So there's also one. This one is also a bit of a weird screenshot. It starts with the person replying to Fiddle saying, "Just admit you hate men. Suck up sapphic queen." Fiddle types a lot of ha's and then posts a sort of memeable picture, I guess, of whatever. Then the replier
Of-
posts a
A meme picture of whatever. God, I am good at descriptions apparently.
screenshot of someone saying, I'm non-binary, so I often forget I'm even trans. I'm still kind of used to referring to myself as cis, and it doesn't help that I'm not out to anyone but a select few IRL. To which then say, hey, this is the person who called you a piece of shit. Fiddle responds with, yeah, did I mention I hate men? I don't know why this one was included for hate against black guys. Unless the message here that the anonymous posted about another anonymous person is a black guy, we don't know. And there's some definite background context that leads you to believe that there's more to the story than just she hates men just because of that.
Also, one thing that I should have pointed out back at this time is that, if this is for us to believe that this is racist against that one anonymous person, but from the anonymous person, that's a problem with these people staying anonymous, is we don't know if it's actually racist. Of course, again, as I even say in this video, I am not defending Phil Fox. She is racist. I'm just bringing this as a point.
Again, this is not defending her because we'll get to it. There are some other screenshots that show her posting some really weird pictures. I do not know. She brings up a documentary about a black guy in a movement, but this one is a bit of a weird one too because it doesn't really look like that Fiddle is really saying anything about black men in this picture, just about the fact that this documentary exists. There's also some screenshots about Fiddle basically disliking her audience, hating 99% of... Wait, let me find the actual quote. It's possible for the best that I was reminded that fan bases are not to be trusted and that I was right to find 99% of the people who follow me repulsive. Basically, if you support her, she hates you. And then there's just a conclusion that says, we hope this has shed light on the suppressed experiences of people who either have been exposed to or We hope this has shed light on the suppressed experiences of people who either have been exposed to or had their friends exposed to Fiddle's bigotry and cruelty. Our hope is to show that these are not careless, isolated, or ignorant acts, but part of a targeted and malicious abuse of trust among a diverse group in the furry community that she has casually performed over the course of years. We and many others find this unacceptable in a community that has no tolerance for this dehumanization, abuse, and discrimination for others. So that is the end of the document, and I pointed out a few flaws. I'd say the biggest point is even though they show what Fiddle's Discord is, which it is true when you look into it, there is nothing in the screenshots that show that this Fiddle isn't an alt account. They don't have really solid proof other than these screenshots. And again, with the first link being broken, they could have fixed that just by having that working, but that's missing, so...
Also, one thing to point out is that for anyone that was going into this drama without knowing about the Ask Vaporeon account, like knowing if it was actually hers or if it was someone that is using the same name, we don't know. Again, that's something that doesn't matter in the long run after what happened, but, yeah.
There's no way to actually have this seem correct. The initial tweet from the call-out Twitter got 2,384 retweets as of recording, 721 quote retweets, and 3,207 likes. Now, personal opinion, everyone that had looked at this and went, I'm going to wait to see if more info comes out, want to see Fiddle's side, you did good in this situation, because this is a terrible call-out post in every way. But, unfortunately for Fiddle, Fiddle just did a terrible response after terrible response. So, if we go to the first, let's see. Fiddle's first tweet about this situation goes, well, I guess at Inebrius leaked all our Discord convos because I warned 2 people he was a massive creep. I may be a huge racist and transmisogynist, but at least I don't constantly talk about being tiny. Try not to shoot up your workplace, buddy. What? So, let's break this down as best as I'm able to, because I'm pretty small brain, I don't understand this. First of all, she brings up this account called, this Discord of Inebrius. This account is a locked private account that only follows people can see the tweets of.
Wait, did I just call the Twitter a Discord account in this? Really? Did I? God. Like, even though, again, I stand by a lot of, like, the information and the statements in this video, my God, not only was the editing awful, but I needed to do second takes in this, and I did not. The fact that this is probably one of my top viewed videos on the channel Kind of sucks because of that.
Have no clue who it is, and with the fact that Fiddle seems to just know who did the call-out post is a bit of an alarming thing immediately. But the main reason this tweet falls apart is the second sentence. I may be a huge racist and transmisogynist, but that's not a good way to start a defense. Especially since that's basically confirming that the screenshots, even with how poorly put together they are, they're true screenshots. What the hell are you doing, Fiddle? Like, god dang. Why? They also say I don't constantly talk about being tiny. This is a weird argument. I guess maybe Inebrius has some sort of micro fetish, maybe. That's my only guess. Which,
That is the conclusion I would make today, I guess. Just
if that's something that goes on, that's
2 years. This was released in like July of 2021. I don't know if you ever saw who Fiddle Fox was. But yeah, this was when she was being called out.
as weird as it is, there's not a huge issue. Try not to shoot up your workplace, buddy. Again, this has no context, and so anyone that's just reading this tweet like me does not know what the hell is going on. What does it have to do with them being tiny for them showing up at the workplace? Is this something that's entirely separate? We don't know. We just know that Fiddle said this. Anyways, yes, those caps are real. No, I'm not apologizing. No, I'm not apologizing for shit I said.
Another time where I should have, instead of putting a caption that said "talk is hard," I should have just cut that take out. God dang it, past me.
Private. Lol. Quick FAQs. Question. I'm unfollowing you. Answer. That's fine. You do you. Question. Do you hate black people? Answer. I hate white people more. Oh, I would love to see the Discord screenshots for that. Question. You're the worst piece of shit in the world. Answer. That's not true, and you know it. This also seems to allude that there's some other background stuff going on to where maybe these people that did release these screenshots might also do some terrible things. And some of those screenshots do seem to show that wherever these screenshots are pulled from, people weren't objectifying to it at first. These are people that seem to even go along with it. So, there might be some truth to it. But where these tweets fail is that she doesn't defend herself well. She basically admitted to it, and that's why the entire hate train started. So, let's continue on. Her next string of tweets is a bit of an interesting one. Oh, one clarification, or a few clarifications rather. Now, Inebrius unadded me from Discord, so I have literally no way of proving this. Feel free to think online, it makes no difference to me. However, people are talking about one specific comment I made about black men and shock collars. Sounds horrible, right? Why the fuck would I say that? I sat down, wondering when I said that and why, with no way of going back and looking at the conversation. But suddenly I remembered. The conversation was about Zootopia. As you know, Zootopia uses animal people as stand-ins for people of color. More specifically, predators equal minority, black, Hispanic, etc. I was not a fan of this concept, making black people out to be predators when actual predators are, at their cores, dangerous to herbivores. There's a scrap concept about electric collars being put on carnivores to control them. That's where that statement comes from. I was mocking the lazy inclusion of race issues into a world where it doesn't work and was offensive. Now, it is true.
And I don't know how closely you've been paying attention, Ridley, but yeah. I really needed to actually put the screenshots up when they're being read rather than all at once.
That Zootopia had a scrap concept where predators would wear shock collars. These shock collars would shock you if you got more aggressive. I remember looking into this way back when because I thought it was very interesting. The problem is that, like, even if this was mocking the concept, you're like, what, 4 years too late or something? So, if we're going by the screenshot date. And the other thing about it is that the race issues brought up in Zootopia are actually real life world issues for the most part, from what I can tell. I don't know. I'm just a random white guy who lives out in nowhere. I don't live near a city, so maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, a lot of people actually agree that Zootopia did a good job showing the race issues. Now, there could be an argument that could have been done better, but for the most part, these tweets don't really defend it that well. Like, sure, maybe saying that black people need shock collars is a bit of a joke on her end, just to point out the issues with comparing predators to being minority or Hispanic. Well, you still said it, and there's no context. So yeah. Let's see. Look, I said a lot of things in that Discord chat with Inebrius. I accept all responsibility for saying it, which is basically her admitting to saying all this. But you seem to see why many of those things are cherry picked. He sent those screen caps to people because he was a creep to me, and I got tired of it. Why don't you have proof of this? You could have. If he was being a creep to you, you could have screenshotted it before you were unfriended. And I'm also going to get into that in a minute. Even though I knew he could blackmail me, yada yada. There is one big point of hers that I think is a decent one. Where is all of his side of that Discord chat? Why are people using such ill-gotten evidence against me? Now, it's not just the fact that these screenshots are ill-gotten evidence because, yeah, it is a bit cropped out and there is a few bad things that seem like they need more context. But you admitted to it, Fiddle! Why are you trying to defend that? Like, come on! The main point here that I'm trying to make is that Fiddle said some terrible things, and there is just not much that she's going to be able to do about that. But my other point is that this doesn't seem like a isolated, it's only her. Obviously, the people who called her out had a lot of skeletons in their own closet too, so we have to keep an eye on that. The next one of my tweets is her trying to use a method that she found through someone else linking a YouTube video that basically would help her get these messages that she was talking about, the ones that would give context. Now, the one issue with it is this is just if you were saving text logs, and she even admits that, yeah, a lot of the things didn't work out. She couldn't get these messages because the text logs only show your end of it, and obviously because these are text logs, they are easily editable, which she even says here. So there's not really too much to bring up here, other than the fact that she mentions that she is most likely blocked by this Discord. So,
Which, as a side note, one thing I didn't even think about at the time that this happened is, you know, assuming Inebrius was not like an evil person. I don't know. I don't remember anything popping up after the fact. And Phil was just being racist. It would make sense for like Inebrius to then just block Fiddle, to just not like associate with Fiddle anymore. Don't know why I didn't bring that up.
she's not able to send a friend request and get the actual messages. The last message after posting this is another weird one, though. At the end of the Twitter chain, and for lulz because he truly fucked me over, here's the whiny statement he sent me after I didn't beg him to come back after he unadded me on Discord after the above statement. Which reads, I'm typing this out for the sake of closure, I guess. You're not under any obligation to reply. I just want the things that went unspoken off.
Bad takes.
I apologize for the length, but this is everything. I can take a lot of shit. I know my flaws. I know we have really combative differences.
God dang it, cut stuff out, me.
Look, I'm stupid. As an individual, you know I enjoy spending time with conflicting personalities, but by the end of that argument, I don't think you'll ever appreciate just how resented and disposable you made me feel. Do you really look down on me that much? Do you think I look down on you that much? Do you really see me as fundamentally incompatible with parts of you because I'm a man? Did you ever think I saw parts of you fundamentally incompatible because you're a woman? That talk cut deep. I don't know if you were hurt or angry, or if you were just glad to be rid of me. I don't know if that conversation even mattered to you, or if you knew how much you were devastating me as you said it. I really haven't been able to think about it without breaking down into tears, so like you, I just try to forget. I am fine with moving on and disappearing eventually. I am not looking for a reason to hate you. I'm not chasing you down or dragging this out. That would beyond insulting to both of us. I'm assuming that he meant that would be beyondly insulting to both of us, but, you know. Because of this, I thought for a few weeks now if I should say anything at all. You've made it very clear you wouldn't ever come running to me. I dreaded that you would just this whole exchange awkward and pathetic, and I suppose if you do, the least then I could have closure. That's how you really feel about me. I suppose it's all possible you are just confused and have no idea what I'm talking about, which is fine. That at least explains why this happened. But after 3 weeks of feeling like absolute shit, I really want to cut through the bullshit and just ask you straight up, are you happier without me around? There isn't a day that's gone by where I didn't think about it. I want you to know that I still wish you the best. I don't regret the things I sent you, nor did I ever want you to take them back. And I do genuinely hope that your artist server can be in space that I never could reply. What the fuck?
Okay. Comedic timing of the what the fuck. That aside, I did a lot of reading in one long stint. And I think that should have been broken up a little more, but that's a whatever.
I'm actually getting a little bit of a headache just reading that one. What the heck? Basically, I think this tweet that was sent is supposed to be some sort of showing that this guy is a simp, maybe? But there's no evidence that this is who she's talking about. There is no username or context, just like the Google Docs screenshot. So unless he makes a mistake of responding in the worst way possible, we don't know this. And unlike with Fiddle, his account's private, so we have no way to know. That and this just seems petty to put out there if that is the case, because it doesn't help your case in any way, shape, or form, and just kind of makes you look like a dick, Fiddle, which, whatever. Bill dicks. Oh, I make myself laugh. Her last tweet lines say this. He said way worse shit than I ever did, but now I can't even prove it. Oh well, it's my fault for letting knee-jerk feelings get in the way of critical thinking and seeing him for what he really is. I fucked up, I fully admit to that, I'm sorry. This is literally the next tweet after she posts the picture of those screenshots that literally are her just trying to clown on this guy. So I don't know how much of that would be knee-jerk and how much of that is, like, I don't know. There's a lot of vitriol in this, which does make me think there is something else going on. So,
But we don't know any of the details of whatever happened, or if there actually is, or if she was just mad about being called out.
basically, I'm saying I do believe that Fiddle might be truthful about there being some skeletons in the closet about the people canceling her. I do not believe that saves her. I think that she's still got all of this stuff that she said that will not help her in the long run. Anyways, continuing. And not sorry in the followers, please come back kind of way, as I really don't care about that. And I'm not going to blame him for tainting me with his shittiness. Those statements were all mine. Again, admitting to what she said being true. You want up? I will be taking a good hard look at myself and making sure I don't let my anger lead me down this kind of racist thinking again. But I will not be returning to social media. So thank you for hearing me out, and goodbye. This is her last tweet. She has not posted anything since, so there is at least the chance that she may be just truthful about leaving for now.
Side note, just mentioned earlier, checked. No, she came back about a month later.
And so that's about where all the drama sort of fizzles out for the moment. We don't have any sort of follow-up from the call-out account other than the Discord lookup thing, which, again, doesn't entirely prove that it's her, purely because the screenshots themselves don't show the tag. I do want to say, though, my experience with Discord, if you unfriend someone, you still have access to those messages unless you close the DM. That's when you are possibly able to lose them. But you are able to open these messages again if you friend the person again. Or if you're in the same server as them. Basically, it sounds like whoever made these... God, my brain. This part I don't have.
1. Scripting. 2. Cut out your bad takes, me.
Have any more script. I didn't finish the script. And my cat's like, got a claw on my leg. With Discord, though, a lot of what she said is half truthful. If you close the DM, you're not able to get them back unless you reopen. But that does not delete them entirely. They are still able to be opened, again, if you share a server or if you have DMs open with the person in some way, shape, or form. Now, it's clear that this was a one-on-one interaction. She says that the person probably has her blocked. So that would mean that she wouldn't be able to get the DMs if she closed it. But when did she close it, is my question. All these screenshots are from 2020, which means that the call-out thread came about a year later, which, if she hasn't talked with these people since then yeah, I don't see a reason for her to really keep the messages open. But with how a lot of this is said, it sounds like there might have been a group chat or two. What's the case with those? Why do all these people want to be anonymous if their evidence is so concrete? That's my question. Do they not want to get called out for the same thing? Are they being hypocrites? I don't know. In conclusion, for me at least, I don't fully think that this was a good call-out post, but the cancellation itself was good. If Fiddle did not basically admit to multiple times that she said this stuff, this cancellation would have been nothing. We wouldn't have known that this was real, because the screenshots really are just sort of not well done. And if anything, Fiddle just kind of indicted herself. If that original call-out post came out, and Fiddle just ignored it or didn't respond to it, or made a decent response that wasn't her saying, yes, I'm a racist and transmisogynist, but then she probably could have kept doing what she does and moved on. Hell, just point out the fact that, claws, KJ.
I didn't cut out me getting clawed by KJ.
Just point out the fact that even though they show her tag, they don't actually show it connected to these screenshots would be good enough, and you could just continue on. So, why am I bringing this up? I don't use Twitter too much. I only have it because I follow a couple artists, as said. If these cancellations are to be trusted, they need to have good evidence behind them, and they need to be not only provable, but also just able to... God, English is my first language, and I also speak it so badly. English is my only language, actually.
Actually, English is not my only language. I also know broken English and a little bit of Spanish. In fact, broken English is probably my first language.
Want to be able to trust cancellations like this in the future, we need so much better evidence, so much better proof. We need less anonymity. That way we can know that these claims are trustworthy. We need to have evidence that shows the full context. We need something to show that these weren't made up. And again, if it wasn't for the fact that Fiddle admitted to it, these claims would have been brushed off. Fiddle could have gotten away with all this. My complaint here isn't about people canceling Fiddle. I think that it is actually deserved despite her art. So I've never followed Fiddle, so take that as you will. But I did enjoy the art that I had seen. It's just that, like, I don't know. There's a reason why. Ow! Claw on my leg. There's a reason why Twitter cancellations are treated as a joke for a lot of people that aren't in the Twitter community. It's because of how tweets like
I really just called it the Twitter community. Oh boy.
this come out trying to cancel someone, and it's such poor evidence, poorly put together, that even if they were deserving of it, it really just doesn't. I don't know. I think like I just made my point, and I'm starting to like ramble. So I guess I may as well end the video here. So, how do I end the video? I hope that you enjoyed whatever you saw. I don't think I'm going to do many serious topics, but again, Fiddle's art is something that I had happened across, so I felt compelled to at least say something on the topic. So, next video will be something definitely a lot. Next video will definitely be something a lot less drama-centered. It'll be just
Come on, cut out your bad takes.
me rambling like I usually do, and that's about it. So enjoy your day. Have a great one. I got it at Walmart. It was like very cheap, and I don't even like remember how much it was. Like just look at it; it's all just foam and squishy.
Okay, so with that video over, some ending thoughts and some things that I want to say about the video, which I will also bring up in my post-review, like when I make a video talking about my past videos thing. This video came out during a weird time because basically right after this situation, another situation happened in a community I was in around a creator known as Isabella and also known as Lucario. At the time, top Smash Ultimate Lucario, who also was the owner of the Smash Bros. Like Smash Chords, some of them, the Lucario one specifically, and the bot that is used for all of them. She was canceled literally right after this, and the only reason I didn't end up taking the time to make a video on that was because I also ended up going to a wedding about the same time. So it was two people that I closely looked at, or that I closely followed, that got canceled around similar times. And I didn't want to make two drama videos in a row, especially with just how bad I edited that one. I would make a remake video of this one where I talk about the situation in more retrospect and actually put in time editing. But someone else has already made a pretty good video to essentially, like a very good video that talks about the old situation around Fiddle Fox. So there's no real need for me to do it now. Next few of them are actually really short compared to these first few. The next one is, and I named some of these plushie quickies because they are quick videos. So we are going to go to bootleg GBA disassembly. I don't even know if there's me talking in this. I think there is. I'm just gonna let this play. Hello everyone, this is Plush. Usually I would not make a video style like this, but I figured may as well try it. I haven't There is no usually at this point past me. Uploaded in a while anyways, so why not? So today what I'm doing is I'm actually going to be taking apart this Game Boy Advance game. Now, obviously, when you look at it, it looks like just a normal copy of Wario Land 4, European version, and there isn't too much to it. But, essentially... Side note, my noise gate in this video is so bad. What the frick happened here? Like, it's not my usual recording setup, but what happened here? Jesus Christ. The reason why I'm taking this apart is because this is a bootleg copy of the game. Now, other than the fact that it is the European version instead of the American version, that was something that I didn't really bother about because this was a copy that I got online off of eBay. It was very cheap, came from China. That should have been the first real hint. But if you look at like the label again, it looks like a regular label. But let's compare it to the actual official copy, which I did get. This is, of course, the American.
The games are so out of focus in my hands. Why did I not try to fix that?
If only my brain could actually work. This is the American cartridge, which is a darker green, doesn't have the CE, which I believe is the European, whatever Europe's thing is for game rating. And honestly, if you were just comparing these side by side, including like the back, the only really noticeable thing is that the bootleg cartridge has like the slightest tint difference on the cartridge itself, which is something that is hard
I'm not even talking about the label being different. What was I doing?
to really notice. All our comparisons you can make are pretty normal. Some of the things that make it stand out is that if you look on the official cartridge, you'll see, and because my camera won't focus, I can't really show this well, but on official Game Boy Advance cartridges, there are numbers that are sort of etched into the label that is noticeable at like certain angles, and this game doesn't have it. But what's more noticeable is, and this is something that I'll show much better later on the teardown, if you look on the inside, it's very hard to see right here in the my brain. It's hard to see on camera from here, but there is a Nintendo logo and copyright on the inside of the board right here. Now on the official, like Wario Land 4, it'll say Nintendo copyright 2001.
Wario 100% would, but also he has his own game company, so he also could just sell his own games, because canonically he does.
And the biggest showing to this being a bootleg is the fact that this shows up as 2002, and the Nintendo logo does not exactly look correct.
You still think he would? Well, that is fair.
This also does have some longer times for soft resets and stuff like that. So that's also another sort of hint towards this being a bootleg. But without further ado, I've already
I did get the bootleg on eBay.
rambled on. Let's take this apart, shall we? This does use the same screw point as any other Game Boy Advance game, which is a 3-point screw. And so if you have some sort of screwdriver that will use that, then you'll be fine. So now with the screw off, simply comes right off like that. And here is the board. Now, as you see, that does not say Nintendo on the board. That is NLHTEHDO, which is definitely wrong. The board itself actually doesn't look too awful, but it's just sort of like overall, it's easy to tell that it's not an official cart. So that's sort of all I was really going to show in this. I would get a much clearer showing of like the board and all that, but again, my camera will not focus whatsoever. But here's what it looks like on the inside. Again, it should say 2001. It's got a little bit of a different font to the official, and clearly it does not say Nintendo. So that's all I really have for today. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.
Yep, that is all to that video. Literally made it because I wanted to take apart the Game Boy Advance Wario Land 4 bootleg I had. Not much to say on it.
it just sort of happened. Could have worked on getting the camera to focus better, but that is ultimately that, and I could, and it would honestly not be that hard to do, because what you just saw with the bootleg is exactly what you would do with a genuine copy. The only reason why I did it on the bootleg instead was because that was my first time doing it, and I just wanted to be sure, careful. But I could take apart the official. Anyways, now we move on to my second most viewed video ever. Jolteon Nanoblock Assembly. Risk it all for the funny. Anyways, this video is going to be an interesting one because there is, I do not believe, any commentary from me. This one just has some music in the background. Because I grabbed some random like Ori, like music from like Ori and the Will of the Wisp and just tossed it in the background as I sped up me assembling it. I probably could have done better on volume balance on that. Put a Pikachu of this together and dropped it. Oh, that's gotta suck. Yeah, I still have the Jolteon one sitting on where. You know what? I actually don't know where it is, but I know I have it somewhere. I am going to hit the 2 times on this, which is also going to wonk up the music a little bit, but it's literally just a video of me assembling the Jolteon, following the directions. The reason why there's music rather than like me doing any sort of commentary is because during the initial recording, me and girlfriend Fluffy were just sort of hanging out, so there wasn't anything in the video to actually like that I wanted to put in. And I had nothing I really wanted to talk about to put as like the main thing to talk about during the assembly. Yet somehow this video is one of my most viewed, and I do not understand it. I actually do also have 2 other Pokemon Nanoblocks that I need to assemble at some point. One being a smaller one and one being a large one. But I haven't taken the time, and I'm thinking when I do assemble them, I'm going to record them and use them as like background footage for some other video. I just haven't decided on that yet. It'll have to be some other time. So, yeah. As you can tell, the reason why I have this on 2 times is because not much to this video. My chair is very squeaky right now. I don't know how much of it can be heard in the stream, but it is squeaky. It's between like Lucario, Riolu, and Dialga. It depends on the day. But yeah, Lucario is definitely up there. How could you tell? Sped up Ori music. Couldn't possibly be because I'm a furry. Yeah. For the channel being called PlushieSpeaks, I really don't do like any speaking in this video, quite literally. Kind of funny, to be honest. I have not played Scarlet and Violet. I did play Sword and Shield. I'm not a fan of Sword and Shield. Alright. But now we go from one of my most viewed videos that is just me putting together a nanobot. Cinderace, my favorite, one of my favorites of the generation, with the other being like Wooloo. But now we go to a video where I actually speak, and boy do I do some speaking in this. Also, you get to see what my old PNG tuber looked like. There's me. Hello there, Plush here, and let me tell you, I am having smack of the mouse. See, I had this as my PNG tuber because I actually drew it, because at the time I hadn't yet commissioned anyone to draw some stills for me, and I just went, you know what? I can start off with just my own. No reason not to. Having a day today. I just got home from the bank. I just got off the line with PayPal, and what the fuck? So, this... I didn't realize how aggressive I was in this video. In fairness, it is understandable with knowing what was going on at the time, but my goodness, I did not realize. There's a lot. We're going to get into it. This video has no script, and honestly, it's probably going to be a bit of a mess. But for a bit of context, last night, which is July 1st, 2022, I was awake very, very late. I was messing with computer stuff. I was learning how to do virtual machine stuff from a Some Ordinary Gamers video. And then suddenly I got 2 text messages around 4 a.m., which would technically be July 2nd, but still, it's July 2nd now. One of them was from my bank saying that a $200 transaction through PayPal had been approved, with the other being from PayPal themselves, also saying that they have approved a $200 transaction. I wanted to play that before I responded. Technically, I started with the tiger head. But yeah. Also, though, the tiger head has only been used in that one video. I do not know where this transaction came from. And so, immediately, I logged into my PayPal and checked and saw that, yes, there was indeed some $200 transaction that I had no clue where it was from. Just to point out, it's this top one that I didn't know where it came from. This one and this one are ones that I did know. Actually, I don't know what that 212 is now, but I definitely knew what it was back then. And then, funnily enough, this one, the $60 one, is the retexture of the airplane Dragon base. Guess what I'm using right now? Initially, when I got the text messages, I thought that they might have been from buying the airplane Dragon base for... Oh, so was that... No. For VR chat, which I highly recommend, by the way. You should definitely check out Skip 40. But
I'll give you a hint. It's the airplane dragon that's from Skip 4D.
That was not the case. This was some other transaction. So, once I saw that that was not the case, the first thing I did was change my password and make sure to log out of any other sessions on PayPal. And then I disputed the claim. Of course, with it being 4 a.m. by that point, and with me already being up much later than I should have been by then, I went to bed. Around 2 hours later, even though PayPal themselves says that a dispute can take up to 5 days, it got denied immediately. For whatever reason. Now, according to PayPal themselves,
Just as a side note, I'm doing a lot better in actually showing my screenshots and my evidence of what I'm talking about in this video than I did with the Fiddlefox drama. And when did this video come out? A year ago? Almost a year after the Fiddlefox video? So yeah, at least there's improvement on that front.
the dispute was declined due to the transaction matching prior transactions. I can pick this apart in so many ways that I just do not know how, I do not know how they came to this decision unless it was from an AI.
When I say AI in this, I mean an automated system, not AI as we have been hearing about in the last year or so.
For one, this payment was a personal payment.
According to PayPal, over the phone. That's what that text was. That was bad font on my end.
Which I rarely do. Whenever I have done it in the past, usually I put a note saying what the transaction specifically is for. For example, I have had to pay, and this is also why I recommend invoices if you are a seller as well, so that your customers don't have to deal with this bullshit either. But from the people that I have sent money through non-invoice, usually I'll put a note saying what the transaction is for and stuff like that. The fact that this payment did not have any sort of note should have been a red flag. In addition to that, this is an account that I had never paid money to, which, again, to be fair, there are times where I have paid money first time to an account, but I also haven't disputed any before. So the fact that there was a denial so quickly is just, I don't understand it. Another thing
Yeah.
that just sort of caught my eye is that the email that the recipient is from is literally first two initials PayPal 2022 at gmail.com. That to me does not sound like a legit email. That definitely sounds like someone quickly made a PayPal because they knew they were going to close it soon, or do an otherwise illegal activity, if you get what I mean. I am not going to say allegedly because this is a transaction I did not approve, and if whoever I am not going to give the name because that might be illegal, but
I'm gonna be honest, I to this day do not know if revealing the name that came through the PayPal would be illegal or not, because I do not know if their name being released would count as doxing. And that's the only reason I did not give their name at the time. At the same time, probably a fake name anyways.
if this person wants to come at me with a lawsuit, I will dispute you in court. Fight me. So, once I woke up and saw that there was a denial, I called PayPal. I got
funny? Nah. Maybe.
on hold, and they have that thing where you can like hang up and they will call you back. And so I did that and went to my bank, and unfortunately now I do not have a debit card for the moment because the fact that I'm disputing the claim means that they also have to close the card, which means that I have to wait for a new one to mail in. Luckily, if I do need it, I can link my bank account to Google Pay, but I've been trying to avoid doing that for in case something like a account like
Well, either a dumbass or just the... I will reveal the name was a Russian name, so it could also just have been someone from Russia to where it wouldn't matter anyways.
I'm saying like a lot, and I apologize if I don't edit this really clearly. But I've been trying to avoid using services like Google Pay that uses your bank account directly for things like this. I am lucky that I did not link my bank account to PayPal, because oh my goodness, if I did, that would be a disaster. So
I just have my debit card linked.
that's basically the situation in full. As of right now, I'm still I did get a call back from PayPal.
That was my phone in the recording. Why did I leave that in?
And they are going through an appeal. So hopefully I do get my $200 back through them. And even if I don't, I'm hoping that my bank will recognize that there was a fraudulent claim and are able to reverse it. If not, well, that's just $200 gone for.
Here's the thing. I don't think I would have been able to be considered a new YouTuber back in July of last year. Especially since, and I said I mentioned this later, but I will mention it again. I have had YouTube channels in the past, mostly when I was still like in middle or high school.
Absolutely no reason. And I'm probably not going to use PayPal again after this. And I fully recommend that if anyone were to indeed use PayPal after this, definitely look into like not using your actual bank account. Maybe unlink it if you can. Same with like maybe your debit card. If you have some like maybe a privacy account, you could probably link that. And even then, even though I do use privacy, I still don't like the fact that you have to link your bank account with it. So use with caution, I would say. That's about all I got. Sorry for the like video being a bit rambly and a bit like unfocused, but this is something that I really I cannot understand how this went through, nor do I like the fact that I'm having to deal with this nonsense. So, if you liked my suffering, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's all I got for you. Oh.
As you can probably tell from my voice in that, I was not doing well. And while I, like in the channel update, I mentioned this a little bit, but I'll mention it here. Right after this video released, literally during the same week as the PayPal dispute, I had other things pop up. I did find out that the reason they got my PayPal was because someone had basically got malware onto my computer somehow, and they were basically using a remote desktop program to do this sort of nonsense. They had even, the reason I found that out was because they had gone to my Amazon and tried to buy a like
$1,000 or $2,000, I don't remember which, like quadcopter, like remote control quadcopter with a camera to try to ship it to somewhere in Georgia of all places. And then once that got cleared up, my cat died. Literally, it was one of the worst like months of like basically my adult life in such a short amount of time. It was rough, which is probably why I didn't really make any follow-ups to that up until I made a life updates video here. Fun. Anyways, we're gonna watch the updates video because, like, even though this is sort of an outdated video when it comes to channel updates, it is sort of important to just bring up as a video that is still up on my channel. I hate to just cold open a video, but I need to be concise and not over explain myself with it. This first section will be updates about this channel, the Plushie Streams channel, and the Twitch channel. The second section will be me screaming into the void about some of the troubles this year have given and some dramas. Got it? Okay. So, I've unlisted the PlushieSpeaks on the Phil Fox drama. The info in it I believe is fine, but I got too lazy with editing that video, and honestly feel a bit bad about that. It also doesn't really add much to the situation, but if you want to see it, it's still in the PlushieSpeaks playlist. I've removed... Yeah, this was when I also unlisted that Phil Fox video, by the way. Episode numbers on this channel, as they are a little bit unnecessary. The videos under the PlushieSpeaks name are not exactly connected, so there's no reason to number them like that. Both this channel and the Plushie Streams channels are going to have different profile pictures. This one I plan to commission a new piece at some point, do not know who by, while the Plushie Streams channel I have just updated to be the PNG tuber avatar with permission from the creator. Saturday's Twitch streams will probably have to be at a different time than what I have at right now. This is due to Fluffy's work schedule now being different, and so that makes my schedule being a little bit different, and I might need to just work around it. And if you couldn't tell, that changed again, and now I'm streaming Friday night, Saturday mornings. Written and scrapped a ton of video scripts by this point, but I promise I've definitely been trying. Generally, once I get a little bit into a video project, I lose motivation and self-esteem, and scrap literally everything. I am trying to kick that bad habit, and it's why this video is a lot shorter than normal, and also not as edited as normal if you couldn't tell. I'll upload a video talking more about this, but I've also uploaded the entirety of one of my older channels unlisted to Plushie Streams. More info will be to come on that. Now for the life stuff. So, I stopped streaming back in March, as some of you may know. While I'm not able to explain all of the reasons why, I will mention that there was a bit of a lot of mental health issues going on at the time, and also I generally wasn't feeling good about the streams as a whole. I will say with the mental health stuff, I'll probably make a video talking more in depth about it one day. But more into the production value of it, and so I was going to take the time off to work on that. That was the initial plan. While I can't really go into detail about the mental health stuff, I can tell you that it was slow doing the production value stuff, and then July hit, which was hell. So, if you watched the PayPal video, it was around the same time as that stuff was going on. So if you watched that video, you already know what's going on with that. But a few things that happened around that was that my therapist was no longer available due to insurance things, which only just recently got cleared up. A PayPal transaction got sent to an unknown person. That barely got cleaned up. And then Oh. Am I still streaming? I am still streaming. Why did the YouTube video suddenly die? I forgot about the therapist thing as well. That is something that happened around that same time. And spoiler, while the insurance part was technically cleared up, we had scheduling problems because of the fact. It seems like it. So the therapist had a full schedule, and then I just suddenly had no, like, basically, long story short, I never had another session with him, despite the fact that that was fixed or done. That barely got cleaned up. And then I got a weird other notification. Basically, it wasn't just PayPal. Someone had gotten into my Amazon and tried to buy a $1,500 quadcopter. Thankfully, that one was declined immediately. But it turned out that there was a malware on my computer that allowed someone to basically remote connect. That was rough. That wasn't even the worst thing that happened in July. Basically, a week after I got the malware cleared out, I found out that my cat, Cal Jr. Midnight, had lung cancer. He was put down soon after, and I have his boxes. I have his box of ashes near me at all times. I still have his box of ashes in the same spot, actually, because I have not moved it. It's on a little side table in front of my living room window that is to my left, along with a picture of him when he was a kid, a little jar with some of his stuff, and like a little paw print thing that the funeral services, I don't know what the names actually is, but the people that did the actual like cremation and whatnot, a little paw print of his. At least things did get a bit better after July, other than like mental health issues sort of returning, and also after I recorded the initial version of this script, and then a few days later my dad had a slip and fall that had him going to the ER, but he's fine, and life is fine. I did a lot of other things, like, for example, I got a new, for example, I upgraded my laptop a little bit. But that meant I lost my OBS settings and had to recreate all the scenes. And this was after July, after so long of putting time into them. That's part of why they're not the greatest. And I'm also planning to go back to college, which is something that my workplace has kind of fought me over, but at least that is something that I am going to do soon. That is all for this video. I don't think I can do a proper ending ever. Yeah, so about the college classes stuff, I took 2 classes. I passed 1. It did not go well. But anyways, now let's go to the KHTV Gaming Archive. And this is my first video that actually uses like stills that I commissioned. So that's neat. It's probably also the only video to do so as of right now. I want to do more videos of the stills. I like the stills. But let's go into this. I actually don't have many thoughts on the update video either, other than, yeah, it's depressing, but with what was going on, it makes sense. Hi there, Plush here. You'll find out. I took some time over the last few months, just in free time, to download the entirety of one of my old channels and upload the videos from said channel unlisted to the Plushie Streams channel, all into a playlist. If you're watching this, you may already be watching the playlist. If not, the playlist will be linked in the description of the video. Fair warning, none of these videos are going to be any good whatsoever. The channel itself went by the name of KHTB Gaming. I, alongside with an online friend at the time, jointly created this channel when I was in about early high school.
Yes, and that is going to be explained further. Me and a friend were KHTV Gaming.
I went by KH and the friend went by TV. It was supposed to be sort of that channel where both of us would make content, usually together, and upload it, all that stuff. But communication between us was very poor, and to be fair, we were dumb kids. So, can you really blame me on that? KHTB Gaming started as a Minecraft channel which focused on mod reviews and playing on Mionite fan servers, which, again, the content was not that good, but, like, besides the point. In all fairness, this was also back when all I had was Bandicam and Windows Movie Maker. And I do mean Windows Movie Maker as in Windows XP Movie Maker, even though I was on Windows 7. And in fact, I was on a Windows 7 laptop that couldn't even handle Minecraft after the 1.8 update. So, yeah, it was one of those things that just sort of happened, I guess. These uploads aren't in order of their original upload date. Google Takeout takes the videos of the channel and puts them in alphabetical order, and then puts them all into zip files, which honestly gave me huge issues when I was downloading them all. You do...
Just as a little bit of add-on to this, Google Takeout, it took like 200 gigabytes to do all the videos from that channel. So yeah, it was not only a big amount of file space, but it took forever to upload these videos, put them into like the playlist, all that stuff, to where even if I wanted to put like the upload date on all of them, I would not be able to. That was basically going to be impossible.
You get a spreadsheet of all the information for each video in a Excel type spreadsheet, which I have re-uploaded to my Google Drive, and that will also be linked in the description if you want to know what the original upload dates or the original descriptions for these videos were. The original channel and email associated with these videos is now deleted, mainly due to the fact that I want to kind of condense down my online presence to prevent anyone hacking into old unused accounts or stuff like that. I think the best example of a big project on that old channel is the video titled The Laggiest UHC Ever. It's not a good video. In fact, it's not great to watch at all, given that I have Sonic music 30-minute loops blasting louder than everything else in it, basically. My voice in general always has kind of been awful, and much of the video...
I still stand by the fact that I think my voice is awful, but not everyone agrees.
And much of the video shows Minecraft at an actual 0 frames per second. And yes, that's not Bandicam or whatever I used being laggy. Minecraft itself was running exactly how it appeared in the video. Despite that, though, I did keep on recording, playing the minigame, and trying to just generally survive with so little movement that you can sometimes count the frames per minute rather than just frames per second. There's passion in there, which I guess despite having better hardware and knowing a bit more with video making nowadays, that passion is something that I'm still kind of searching on right now. That's about it for this. I know that this is like sort of a short video, but this is more of a notification of, hey, if you want to watch some bad videos from my past, click on the playlist. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. The stills used in this video are newly commissioned pieces drawn by Simple Nix, someone who is a much bigger than me YouTuber who I definitely 100% recommend checking out. I will provide a link in the description for those who don't know him. And that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Go drink some water. ended it with go drink some water. So, yes, I was KH in KHTV Gaming. And in fact, I do keep little references to KHTV Gaming once in a while to just random stuff. My Call of Duty clan tag always is KHTV because of it. You probably could see in the footage, the background footage, KH is actually the initials that I have for my Smash Bros name. And even in some say Grand Theft Auto 5, KHTV, I think it's KHTV Game that I have as my license plate. It's something that despite the videos being terrible, I always liked using it. And kind of wish that the channel actually did better than it actually did, but to be fair, most of the stuff on it was not great. Alright, next video, vent art type thing. Honestly, I don't remember much about this one. I think this... Oh yeah, this is just a text-only one. So, apologies. This one is more of a visual experience. That kind of hurts. I feel like I'm going nowhere. School is going well, but I feel like I will fail anyways. I can't... Let's see. I can't focus on classwork for long. Not only that, but I've been unable to get myself to bed on time, and it's becoming much harder... God, I put these way too fast. And it's becoming much harder for me to reach out to trusted friends. I can't tell what's wrong with me. All I know is that I'm hurting, and I have no faith in a good future. I'll be fine at some point. I always am, somehow. I just need a shout into the void to avoid falling into it. Yeah, that's all this video was. Is just a little... Yeah, much better than when this video was made, sure. This came out 9 months ago, and I guess I can give context now since, this is, almost going to be a year ago. Essentially, I had probably one of the most rough Christmas and New Year's one could have. Especially with, some of the family that came over were not fun to be with for that time. I was stuck with them for a whole week, and just everything around the time just kind of felt bad. Plus, I knew that I was going to fail some class, but I just didn't know if I actually was going to or not at the time. And as I mentioned, I did. So yeah, it was... But I am definitely better now. Just, yeah, I was not doing well. Next video, it kind of counts as a drama video. Video called Retail Mode Emulation was just killed. I don't know why I put this as a plushie quickie. Probably because I'm using my actual face. Which, side note, I am not actually opposed to having my face out and all that stuff. I just prefer being a furry. Hi there, Plush here. And a little bit of a quick video. This is not a face reveal. I have revealed my face many other times. This is just... Wait, is this the only one, the first one on PlushieSpeaks? No, I also did on the Rambly update, but that is unlisted now. I was about to say, I knew that wasn't the only time. I've also shown it plenty of times on streams before. It's not a reveal, but it is definitely something that you don't see as much nowadays. Because some news just came in that's really just kind of a bad and sad news for emulation, along with just being sort of a dangerous thing when it comes to, in my opinion, video game ownership when it comes to digital licenses. Earlier as of recording this about 14 hours ago. This post was made in the Discord for Xbox Emulation Hub, which is the main server for homebrew and emulation on the Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S.
Which, by the way, I am still in that server.
At retail mode, at everyone, at Patreon supporter. It's been a good run, guys. As of today, it looks like Microsoft finally decided to fight back, and that faster takedowns weren't good enough. Link. Error 0x87E1002D. This game or app can't be launched as it violates the Microsoft Store policy. If you want any hope of retail mode emulation ever making a comeback, now is the time to fight them on it. Take it to Twitter, take it wherever you can, and complain to Xbox about the decision.
Yes, it is indeed about emulating on the actual Xbox console. This was something that was important to me when it happened because I have an Xbox Series X that I grabbed specifically because of emulation on the Xbox Series X being a thing that was not that hard to do. And now I only ever use it once in a while for Fall Guys.
So what are our current options for emulation on Xbox? Dev mode is still very much an option. You can either pay...
Well, here's the weird thing about that. Technically, it's always been cracked. I guess to clarify, retail mode emulation is referencing like your classic like homebrew like stuff running on the hardware without like any special purchases or whatnot, because technically the Series X and Series S have two different modes to them: retail mode and developer mode. Developer mode is something that you have to pay Xbox for, but you can do basically anything with it, which includes the emulators that were taken down from the retail mode. Retail mode is available to everyone because it's the default version of the Xbox, but it's got some restrictions in place, such as only being able to install things from the Microsoft Store. Which, that's sort of where this all stems from. The retail mode stuff were able to be downloaded because of people putting like homebrew software and emulators onto the Microsoft Store, which you would follow a link on, say, in the actual Xbox's web browser. Open the link and it would allow you to download the emulator. And even if like it got taken down off the store, initially you were able to still use those emulators. But what this situation is basically revoking your ability to play things already on your console, including emulators and whatnot that were on there.
The stupid $20, €20 fee, or you can simply make a new account, say, to Turkey and pay $2, €2, literally 1/10 the price. If your currently installed retail mode apps still work, this will likely not last long, and they probably already don't work anymore. Will I continue doing retail mode uploads from here on out? Probably not. Unless this gets resolved, I'm going to focus on publishing weekly dev mode updates in dev announcements with our specialized cores for RetroArch. Also in the server was this update just letting people know that the actual Discord server is staying up and giving some information for dev mode users to not use and informing dev mode users to not be inside the Xbox Insider program due to a brick issue. To sum it up,
which also, as a side note, that's why dev mode is something that can't even be fully trusted, because sometimes it can just straight up brick your stuff despite the fact that you're paying Microsoft to be able to access dev mode.
For those of you who didn't know, the Xbox Series S and X, along with the Xbox One, has two different modes to it.
Oh.
Retail mode, which is I just explained to you what the retail mode and dev mode is, and I apparently do it in the Veo. God.
The version of the Xbox that you see on every console. It's where you just sign on, you put in your game, you do whatever. It's the main version, the main firmware that you find on the Xbox. Dev mode refers to another firmware that is on the Xbox, supported by Microsoft, that costs money for you to access. Retail mode apps just simply refer to any sort of application that could be ran while in retail mode. So, as in, these apps could be ran by anyone with an Xbox as long as they knew how to access it. Retail mode apps usually only needed you to have the link to the app and then to put it into your Xbox's Microsoft Edge browser, download it, run it, and it worked. That's basically the long and short of it. Dev mode is a little bit more complicated. We're not going to go too much into it. Basically, what's been going on is that Microsoft has taken the initiative to not only crack down on any uploads of emulators or other applications through to retail mode, they've also revoked the licenses on these applications. So even if you have these already on your console, you're not able to access them, period. This I can even confirm. This all happened while I was at school. I was not able to check this before work, and I only just now got to check, and I can confirm that yes, it is not working. As you see, this is me attempting to launch the PlayStation 2 emulator, Xbox Series X's XBSX2, a 4.
Side note, I have my little PNG tuber here, but I don't have him talking when I talk. Dumb.
Of PCSX2. Trying to launch it, brings up that error. Same with the file transfer program that I would use to access the internals of the Xbox. And same even with other apps. For example, if I were to try to run Dolphin, doesn't work. If I try to run RetroArch, doesn't work. Only the only games that are officially licensed by Microsoft.
That's why I'm a plain dragon. Don't worry. It's not on like the PNG tuber or anything. It's only on this model that is used for specifically VTubing and for VR chat.
To be on the console are working. Nothing else. Big issue, in my opinion, not just because of the fact that emulation is not technically illegal. You should be able to emulate your games. It's piracy of ROMs that's illegal, and you can get ROMs of your games without pirating them. Emulation is not illegal. But also, Xbox has demonstrated that if they want to, they can revoke your license for anything on the Xbox. So, my worry is more along the lines of buying a game, not having the physical version, and then Xbox maybe one day decide, you know what, we don't like having this game on our store. And so they take it off the store and delist it. But instead of just leaving it at that, what if they take it a step further and say, well, we don't have the license to distribute, so we're going to revoke the licenses from our players. Now, obviously, they're not going to just do that outright. It would cause a big outcry if they did that with something you had to pay for, or anything that you have that's like actually been licensed.
But
I can see this happening though with maybe, for example, lower quality games, indie games, or games that they might not own the license to anymore. Especially if the license owner calls up Microsoft and goes, hey, I want you to take this down. That is a possibility, and the fact that that's a possibility is bad, in my opinion. We should be able to run these programs on our consoles if we want to. Microsoft is allowed to take off anything that's on their store. That is not something I'm going to debate. But they should not be able to take programs off of our Xboxes that we have on there that we don't delete ourselves.
Which I am going to say that is the main point that I was trying to make in this video. I am not sure how it came across.
At least in my opinion. This issue was also brought up by Gamer13, a big name in the Xbox emulation side, being one of the people to actually bring up this issue in this tweet, saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good run, but now we've no choice but to..." I'm gonna be honest, I'm assuming that the hashtag is supposed to be let us emulate. I don't know. The tweet reads weird. Essentially, Gamer is trying to rally people to stop this, to reverse this decision so that people can access these emulators and whatnot in retail mode. There are a lot of reasons why this should be a thing. For one, dev mode is something you gotta pay for. Sure, it may only be a one-time $20 fee, but that also requires you to pay Microsoft for something that maybe some people who have an Xbox and have it in retail mode might not have at the moment. Especially with how the economy is going right now, money is a little bit tight for people, and some people might just not want to spend extra money where they don't need to. If they already have an Xbox, why then disallow them from putting whatever they want on their Xbox and put it behind a paywall? The second issue, obviously, is that retail mode is a lot easier to work with than dev mode, which, either way, you can definitely find guides online. But also, a third thing is that dev mode is a lot more unstable. Fourth thing is that dev mode has been retracted by Microsoft before off of accounts who have not published applications, which is a big issue if Xbox emulation is locked behind dev mode, because then you have all these people who just want to play their games on their Xbox, whatever games it may be, and they might not be able to, or they might suddenly find that they can't access dev mode anymore because Microsoft decided, you know what, you haven't actually uploaded anything to the store. Let's just remove your right to, or not, let's just remove your ability to access dev mode. It's just a huge mess, in my opinion, especially with the fact that Xbox, at least in the last couple of years, has been pretending like they have been for emulation of older games and for preservation of these older games, while at the same time taking one big swoop and making it so that no one can easily emulate their games. Now, to be fair, a lot of these emulators are available through dev mode, and a lot of these emulators are also on the computer, depending on which one you talk about. RetroArch is literally everywhere. As I said earlier, XBSX2 is a fork of PCSX2, so that's available as well. But that doesn't change the fact that these are now much harder to get onto the Xbox and is now gatekept. I don't know. I'm already a bit rambly, so I may as well cut it here. I apologize for the presentation. The news came out earlier today, and I wanted to make a news video that I hope I can get out by tomorrow. So thank you for joining. I promise that my next video is going to be scripted. I've been working on a script. I am bad at scripting. And have a great day.
So, I honestly didn't really pause much in that video because honestly, a lot of my points in that one are ones that I definitely still stand by. And yeah. Oh yeah, this guy in the comments decided to be a bit of a dick and stated some misinformation. But otherwise, yeah, that video I think is still a pretty good one. There is definitely updates to that situation. Mainly that some people did get retail mode emulation back for a bit. And then Xbox decided to just ban people who were using retail mode emulation. So that scene's been dead. And the banning was actually relatively recently, like maybe 2 months ago at most. Where is this? 6 months ago. Yeah, so this video from whoever that is did not age well because now it actually is dead. I don't know what you think on that. Anyways, swapping GameCube controller shells. Another just whatever video. No, there's yeah. Unfortunately, Xbox, PlayStation, all that, not great this generation. And I feel like no matter which choice was chosen, your choice is wrong. Which is unfortunate because I made a choice. And that choice was wrong because of it. Anyways, I'm not sure if this one will be one that I need to speed up or not.
Hi there, Plush here, and today I am going to be simply taking these two controllers, both of them are GameCube controllers, and switching out their shells. This one right here is a custom
I do have PC emulation. It's just that, you know, sometimes it's nice to be able to just pick up the Xbox controller and on the TV with the stuff I already got and just go into it like as if it was any other game on the Xbox. It's too bad that's no longer a thing.
Shelled one with an old controller's motherboard that I used to own. The controller is used by Fluffy, who you might know from the fact that they're my girlfriend and have been on stream a few times before I moved them to nights only. And this controller is one that I got a bit more recently. The main issue right now with this controller is that the C-stick will not always function properly. Sometimes it'll drift or act as if it's not being used when you're using it. And so, to fix that, we are going to be changing out the shell and buttons for these,
Buttons.
basically swapping them. That way we can have a working controller for Fluffy.
So to show what I'm talking
God,
here's the
microphone
controller
quality.
here. I have it plugged into my modded Wii. And if I hit the C stick, you'll realize that sometimes it'll act as if I'm pressing slower than I actually am. And
No, Mike?
will just drift over instead of actually, like right there. It'll just drift rather than going to where I want to immediately. This is especially noticeable pressing left, like right
No.
there.
Wait, you should be able to hear it. Were you not able to hear it?
Slower than I actually am, and will just drift over instead of actually, like right there. It'll just drift rather than going to where I want to immediately. This is especially noticeable pressing left.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you couldn't hear because there was no mic or something. No, I think I was using the same microphone as I'm using right now, which is a Yeti Blue Snowball. If I wasn't, I have no clue what happened here.
Like right there, and it seems to be at random. This is something that I'll need to fix out
I
later.
don't even know if that's the case because
were
I
to
sit
take
about the same
the
distance
controller
as
that
I
I'm
did
replacing it
in
with.
this video.
Right here, you can see that the not only is it a bit more immediate, but also it reaches much further. It goes all the way to 85, while this controller will only go up to 80 at best, and that's before it drifts. Right there, I'm holding this, and it only went to 60 something, and slowly crept its way up the rest of the way.
So, we're going to start by taking apart this one with the screws on the back. Need to make sure I have the correct screwdriver. These two, one's a 3-point, one of them's a 4-point. And it's the 3-point ones that these controllers use. Whoop. So we're going to take the time to unscrew all these. Which may take a minute, so I apologize. Need to be careful not.
I will say that not every controller has a good controller to USB thing, and not many controllers actually have good, or not all emulators actually have like some sort of thing that works with that. It depends on the emulator, of course, and what controller you're trying to emulate. Because I'm gonna be honest, you can just use like a PS4 controller for PS3, PS2, and PS1 games and be fine. And honestly, same with like Xbox controllers for Xbox games. But for something like GameCube or the Wii, yeah, that makes sense.
Not to accidentally strip these screws too. Wait, there's a mix of Cross and Phillips in here. There's a screw missing. Didn't even realize that till just now. Because there should be a screw in here, but there is one missing. And I didn't realize that until just now. So I'm wondering if that was something that went missing when the initial case swap happened, or if it's always been missing.
As a side note, I actually did find that screw like a month later. When was this? 5 months ago? Maybe it was 2 months later. I know that I found the screw, and it was somehow like underneath where my desk, underneath like a leg of my desk.
Since this case, along with my controller, were both gotten when we went to Frostbite in 2020. That was a very fun time. Definitely recommend it to anyone that's would like to go to a tournament. It's just fun to hang out at, even if you're not actually participating yourself.
We're gonna turn up the speed just a little bit.
I guess I'll just
put it on 1.5.
Take out with the case. All right. Is this not fully unscrewed? There we go. And there we are. So now we have the motherboard showing. We have our triggers. May as well keep these in here. There's no need to take those out because we can just change the whole back plates. And here's the actual motherboard. We'll take the sticks off of them. We'll move this over here. We'll just keep that as is. Hopefully I don't accidentally get that messed up. Things that keep the start button in place aren't here either. Oh wait, no, that's just part of the mold. Okay, so now that that's done, just a quick look over on it. Looks like everything else is fine. So whatever's going wrong with this stick is something that, again, I'll have to figure out later. Could be a while.
I have not figured out what's wrong with it.
All right, so now it's time to take apart this controller. This one does have all the screws, and these are all the triangle one, meaning that the one Phillips one there was added later.
we'll just... These ones are pretty tight in there. Also a bit crusty, so hopefully the motherboard is not going to be crusty looking. That would be not nice. This controller probably has never been actually taken apart, which is most likely why these screws are so tight in here. This last one is being a pain.
Come on.
There we go.
I don't think I have much to say with this video.
There is definitely a bit of cleaning that might need to be done with this case before I put it back together. But the motherboard itself looks basically similar. Looks really good. Don't see any issues with it. So we'll just take the sticks off, put the other sticks on. Ooh, this looks a bit rough. Bit of dust and whatnot underneath there. So
Yeah,
I might actually
those sticks were a lot harder to take off than they should have been.
I wonder why this looks it's a different color and I think a different. Is that different branding? See, I have no clue what is going on with the C-stick because that is the only part that really looks any different.
I also still don't know what the case is there, because this is like an original GameCube controller.
Little thing to brush it off.
Both are.
Should have had this tool with me when I was getting ready for this. It's got a little scraper and a little brush. The other side is sponge, so we're gonna just take the brush side, clean this off. Nice and dusty. Why this stick is all dusty and messed up, but the other just looks.
Yeah,
like
usually.
Different control.
Usually it is a bit.
The recording stopped there, but we'll just continue getting this all
brain.
undusty and whatnot.
Yeah. Usually, especially with newer controllers, that is a bit of a. Like they're always gonna be tight.
Doesn't seem like there's.
That's
really
not good.
Too much of our maintenance that needs to be done visually beyond that. And dust can build up inside controllers all the time. Usually it just sort of happens. There's not much that really can be done to prevent it because it's just something that will happen. There's also a tie here that's on both, so that is about right. So now...
I mean, it's how it goes sometimes.
6 and put them on. Correct orientation. There we go. Make sure this has nothing on it real quick. And that will go here. These will go right here. Now, assembling this back together is a little bit difficult. Actually, instead of doing it like that, it's easier to put it onto the underside of the front. So we'll put that in here. Take the start button, put that properly, the holes align in here. That way we should be able to take the motherboard and just nicely put it right in here. Buttons are a bit loose.
Yeah, that's usually just a little bit sticky. I don't know. Just usually that means like a button got a little sticky, probably from like juice or cola or whatever.
Just so that you can get a good look. Now we take the back panel and we just simply slip it on, and there we go. There's no, unlike the PlayStation controllers or whatnot, there is no real snap that I'm aware of to putting these back together. So now it's just down to putting the screw.
Yeah,
It's always good to get a
Black controller,
better one.
since those ones seem to be in better shape.
My stick almost fell over.
Since these screws are both in better shape and are all the same, so we'll start by putting one in the top right here and tighten it a little bit. We're not going to tighten it all the way, since we are going to have to go back through all these holes and tighten them up more once we have all the screws in. And the reason for that is because when you tighten up any screw in a set of 4, it'll compress the two pieces of whatever that you are like putting together with the screws tighter together, which will loosen up the other screws because now it's just tighter. It's not a bad thing when it happens. You just gotta be aware of it.
I don't even know what to say about the video, I'm gonna be honest. Literally, it's just
The screw
exactly what it is on the tin, with nothing to say about it.
This one is a bit tight already. That's because it's a bit of a shallower hole. I'll do up here.
Nope.
These
Maybe one day I could be,
a bit wonky
but
to
I've
get
never
screws
been in one
because of the
myself.
angle that they go into.
I do watch some tech repair people like Louis
I think I
Rosman.
got it started. Yep, there we go. This one's feeling tight already. That's not great. Maybe this one's just this one too. Okay. Then we go here. There we go. One more screw right in here. Now we make sure to tighten all those screws that we didn't yet.
I've just always been really good with electronics and software and all that stuff. And, you know, GameCube controllers are not the hardest, and this was not my first time taking apart and putting together
Of course,
controllers
it's
in
not,
general.
but The two first
So,
ones
yeah.
are the ones that are in stripped holes. And there we go. These buttons feel or sound like they're a bit loose, but otherwise this should be good. I don't like how loose they sound. You can hear them rattling around, but they shouldn't be going anywhere. So now we just need to do some testing.
And hey, now we are back here to test the controller. I did shake one of my other GameCube controllers. I apologize. Apparently, that's just something that all GameCube controllers do. So now we're in here, just a quick little test of all the buttons. We see that the buttons are working fine. The left stick seems like it is working all right. Z, R, L, D-pad, and C stick. And as we see, it's
It certainly is some,
working perfectly.
not
But
some
that
that
could
I
not be
could
reaching
do
as
much
far
about
due
at the
to
time.
How the controller is actually molded. It doesn't seem like it's doing that thing where it's holding back. And that
Actually, I do have a question. Do I sound like I do here, or do I sound more like the previous mic quality, or do I sound different than both?
was the main focus. Just a little bit of a test. Seems like it is working fine. Other than not reaching as far left as I would like, again, that is not exactly something that I think can be fixed with this shell, because it is, in fact, how the shell is molded, most likely. So yeah.
Okay.
Controller is not
Yeah,
good,
something like that is what I meant.
and that means Fluffy should be able to use it whenever we play any GameCube games. Or if she wants to start using it for something on the Switch, like Smash Ultimate or whatever. But that should be about. Oh wait, I should probably also check vibration. Vibration feels like it is working just fine. So that is good. So that means that will be where I am ending it. I'm going to assemble the other controller off of the footage, just because that one isn't really as important. So thank you for watching, and enjoy your day. Thank you for watching. Just a quick end of the night update. So I put the shell back onto this controller. It's a different shell. It's the original purple with the clear back that the controller used to have before it was used for Fluffy's custom controller. And the C-stick now works fine. What I think happened is that because I put the screw into this arm
of the controller, rather than having it in this one where it was when I was taking apart the controller. This is keeping the controller tight enough to where it's basically it's holding the controller properly, making the C-stick actually work right. Meaning that that screw for the arm of the controller, most likely it was missing sometime beforehand. I'm not sure when. But either way, figured it out. That's about all there is for this short update.
Yeah, not much really to say about that. You got any thoughts? I am assuming that means no thoughts. Alright. So, got two more videos to watch, with one being a pretty decently serious one and one being me complaining that I released about a little 2 months ago now. Jesus. So this one is now my third most viewed video, and it's pretty close to becoming my second most viewed. And it's called Pride Month Talk. Let's be honest. I am going to be serious for a moment. This video does have me ramble a little bit on like annoyances and pains that I have. But overall, this is a video that I am proud of. And, you know, it's Pride Month when I released this. So, yeah. Hopefully you're ready. 16 minutes, 28 seconds.
Hi there, Plush here. Happy Pride Month.
Frank!
In celebration of such, I'm taking this video to talk about my own sexuality and gender, along with the journey it has taken for me to reach where I am today. Not everything mentioned is going to be appropriate for all ages, unfortunately. Some of what I mentioned won't exactly be happy either. A bit of trauma dumping will happen. So if you are underage or are access sensitive to topics of depression, anxiety, or similar, feel free to skip this video for now and enjoy your day. To get this out of the way, I am asexual and I'm still currently trying to figure out what my romantic attraction is.
As a little update to that, before we get too deep in the video, I believe that I could be demisexual, though I am not fully sure on that.
I am somewhere in the ballpark of either being pan-romantic or aromantic, or even maybe demi-romantic, but I'll explain why later on, why I don't fully know. Likewise, I don't see myself as a guy. I sort of fluctuate between seeing myself as a girl or just kind of genderless.
Demi-romantic would be only gaining romantic attraction after you know him after you get to know him very well.
Which, in itself has confused me into wondering if I count as trans or if I just am some sort of gender fluid or a gender person, which is a bit confusing at times. So how did I get to this point? Well, to start off, back in middle school and early high school, I didn't really think much about either sexuality or gender. I was just sort of that kid who just assumed that things like sexuality would come with time. Even as others around me began getting into relationships and getting horny at all the goddamn time, I felt no particular draw for anyone or for anything in that way. As high school came about, I was beginning to get pressure from parents and, like others in school, to get a girlfriend. I still had no real sexual desire at the time and assumed that the hormone punch was just late, and that becoming a horny teen would happen eventually. I just sort of assumed I was straight and asked out my current girlfriend, Fluffy, to one of our freshman school dances because of that peer pressure. In hindsight, it's kind of wild how well me and her click even to this day, but we did have some turbulent times, but that's later in the story. Throughout high school,
Yep, I agree with that fully, and that's most people when you're in high school.
I just kept waiting, but we did have some turbulent times, but that's later in the story. Throughout high school, I just kept waiting, anticipating that boom of hormones and horniness that every guy supposedly gets in puberty. Once we got into late high school, I even tried to bring it out by trying out things boys are supposedly do, like masturbate and look at porn. But porn didn't really appeal to me in any way at all. I just couldn't watch it. Got grossed out by a lot of it. And masturbation, while feeling good in the moment, always left me exhausted and not feeling great right after. Sometimes even feeling sick to my stomach immediately after instead of any sort of like pleasant afterglow or such. By the tail end of the senior year,
Why did the yellow captions capitalize pleasant afterglow? What?
like pleasant afterglow or such.
Why?
By the tail end of the senior year, I began to wonder why this, like, universally accepted boom of hormones that everyone supposedly gets hadn't yet happened. By this point, I also tinkered with another thing on the side. Online hypnosis as a sort of an attempt to make that horniness come out more. Plus, it kind of became a little bit of fixation. And while it didn't ever get me going, I did get plenty of amusement and joy from hypnosis, from files and such where basically the hypnosis session would allow you to see yourself as something other than your regular self. This led to me experimenting a bit with the idea of being something other than human, which was a concept that I had enjoyed before in things such as the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. This led to me to dipping my toes into other things such as the furry fandom. This will be important later. I graduated high school and started my first year of college in 2016. If you know anything about that year, you know it was wild on all fronts. What's relevant to this story though is that I began to toy with the idea that I might not be entirely straight about that time. After all, that boom of desire for any singular person sexually still hadn't really appeared. The LGBT community at the time in my area and online weren't exactly great, at least in the online spaces I was in. I didn't have Tumblr at the time, but this was during the era of the all or nothing scam. If you want to know more about that, I'll link a video in the description. A lot of distrust and hate was pushed onto the asexual and pansexual communities in specific because of this scam, and tons of misinformation spread throughout the LGBT and beyond when it comes to these sexualities. The misinfo that I learned at the time led me to believe that asexuality meant no love for anyone at all, which is actually sociopathy, and that pansexuality meant love for everyone without exception.
Okay, so you might have missed this, but the fact that I did the zoom in there without utterly blasting out the audio, that just proves that I have done much better now than I did in the past about that sort of joke. Because in the past, I would have absolutely destroyed your and my ears.
Sociopathy. And that pansexuality meant love for everyone without exception, which would include, like, awful people. I also, at the time, didn't know that love and sexual desire were not considered the same thing. Which, yeah, I was a bit dumb. Because of this, despite having no sexual desire or preference, I began to believe I was somewhere between bisexual and pansexual. That persisted throughout the school year. And the reason why I thought I was either of these is because, well, I don't have a desire for guys. I don't have a desire for girls. So that means they're even, right? No, that's not how it works. On a more positive note, I really began to test myself with gender around this time. My Fursona plush actually first came around at this time. Originally, before plush came around, I had a wolf Sona that I barely connected to at all. It was just my name, wolf, and similar colors to what plush had. But then, I discovered the species known as Dutch Angel Dragons. I don't think I could even properly describe how hard I related to the species when I first found them. From the fact that the species officially is all asexual, to the lack of any genitalia, meaning just a null nothing below, making the species as a whole genderless, to just how soft and squishy I imagined them to be, everything just clicked in ways I had never felt so intensely before, at least before that point. And thus, this Sona of me was born, with some differences since then. And the funny thing is, despite the fact I didn't really want to see myself as a girl due to trans stigma at the time, I fully identified with something that was fully not male, which in turn loosened me up to the idea of not being a guy. Did I mention this was during a period of high anti-trans sentiment? Guess not much has changed in the last 7 years? I'm old. God.
Yeah, that was a point in the script where I realized that 2016 and 2017 were more than half a decade ago, which, but that's besides the point.
Unfortunately, something else was bubbling and brewing under the surface at this time for me. I was becoming depressed, stressing so much over little things and big things alike, not being sure of my own sexuality and coping with the idea of not being cis just added to that stress. And by the end of the school year in mid-2017, I began to crack in some of the worst ways.
Any, but I prefer like it, she, or they over he, but I don't really care if you call me a he. It's complicated, but like I'm not someone that gets offended if you call me a he, but I prefer like others. But I don't fully hate he. But also I'm gonna continue the video.
That summer, I lived in an apartment near the college in
Let
some
me
of
back
the
up.
worst ways. That summer, I lived in an apartment near the college while working at the same time. And boy, did depression and who knows what else hit hard. I'd go to work, go home, and be able to do anything basically most days that entire time. Some days I'd just get home, curl up in the middle of the floor, and just cry for a few hours. And then just lay there until I got up to go to bed. There was a lot on me at the time, but with sexuality, I really began to beat myself up over Fluffy. I began to question why I felt no sexual feelings for her still, and began to believe that I was not right for her. We were chill together, but I felt bad about being her boyfriend. After all, what boyfriend am I if I don't feel any strong desire for her? This was a line of thinking that paired with my conflicted feelings on my gender. After all, by this point, I knew I didn't exactly see myself as a guy. So being a boyfriend, quote-unquote, just felt wrong on so many levels. Not that I solidly could say I identified as female. That's something that I still struggle with to this day, to be honest. It led me to actively telling her at one point that I didn't believe I was the right one for her, and essentially self-sabotaged the relationship by trying to break the, boyfriend and girlfriend thing. God, I'm an idiot. I definitely was at the... Luckily, a combo of a couple of online friends and my parents helped me dig myself out of the hole that I was digging myself into at the time. But that depression never fully left, and to this day I do my best to fight it, but it still sort of resurfaces. At least nowadays I fight off any self-sabotage that I feel from it. I think I was in this hell though until like late 2018 or early 2019 when I finally got the right info on what asexuality actually is. It took a while to really accept that I'm ace, but it began to feel better on multiple levels once I figured it out. Because, you know, it actually fit more properly. As for romantic attraction, I'm still attempting to find the line between romantic love and platonic love. But I'll figure out that line one day. hopefully. Gender, meanwhile, still is a strange topic for me. I don't always see myself as trans, but I've heard people say that being non-binary or agender is part of the trans umbrella. But in my mind, I thought that being trans was specifically for people who are male to female or female to male, specifically. It doesn't help that I live in a very conservative area. I don't have a family that's very progressive. A lot of my family is very conservative, in fact. Not only that, doctors in my area are complete trash. Trans care in my area is non-existent, basically, unless I go a full county over. It sucks because even if I made the choice to go male to female, I'd have no place to do so that isn't, like, anywhere in the nearby area.
Just as a side note, that is still the case because I have not moved or anything since this video. Because this video was earlier this year. And yeah, healthcare in my area generally sucks.
I would lose family if I did. And I'd be an outcast in my area. And I'm sure this is all big parts of why I don't even want to see myself as a girl in the first place. Not to mention also a more recent thing with one of my doctors where I was told to my face, unironically, without any medical reason, by my doctor that they liked me as a guy. Just personal preference, which is weird and creepy. I don't know how she's still allowed to be a doctor. Overall,
yes, by the way, that is something that actually happened, and that was still pretty recent when I made this video, and it threw me off so badly and just made me distrust doctors so much to where I still have yet to do like a regular checkup since that happened, despite having had like I had a session that was lined up before that I canceled because I did not trust the doctor anymore, and that was the best doctor I had up to that point.
Know how she's still allowed to be a doctor. Overall, voice crack. Overall, I'm kind of stagnant when it comes to figuring out things like my romantic attraction or figuring out my gender. All I've done really is solidify my stance of being an ace. That's really it ever since maybe 2018. At least me and Fluffy's relationship has gone much smoother since that incident. Turns out she's Arrow Ace. Who knew? Might be why we've always clicked very well together. I apologize for this sort of not entirely happy story, but Pride Month is important, and a big reason I want to share this story is that I don't want others who are asexual to go through some of the same confusion and hardships that I've gone through. The ace community is a lot more accepted now, but I still see people who don't get it or accuse asexuals of very genuinely awful stuff, including actual crimes such as pedophilia and zoophilia, simply just because the people who are making the accusations can't grasp the concept that someone just might not want to have sex with anyone. It's gotta be a lie. They're clearly hiding something. God. We as a community should be proving these people wrong, give the proper facts, and not let these rampant lies, misinformation, and hate just run like they do. This is
just as a side note. You are currently seeing me really put out my thoughts out there in this. It is a strange mindset, and it's something that has been prominent, especially back in, say, 2016. It's not as prominent, but it is still prominent, and I can confirm that with a later incident that happened after this video with my parents, who seem to think that asexuality is something that I can just change my mind on. That's for another day.
And hate just run like they do. This is how we end up with things like the LGB without TQ thing that we have seen in recent years. Because, hot take, I don't think that those people are just straight people that are faking. Some of them might be. But I do think some of it is genuinely people within the LGBT who have such misinformation that they move to hate for other parts of the community that they don't understand. But without rambling too much, I could probably ramble on so much more. I'm going to just kind of end it here. Hopefully my tale of hardship helps someone out there, because...
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that, but basically I was just explaining, yeah, I don't think the LGBT minus TQ is just people that are straight and pretending to be LGBT, but people who are actually lesbian, gay, or maybe even bi, who have so much misinformation that they turn on trans people and ace people and other sexualities just because of what they've been told and the stigmas that they might have and not realize. Anyways,
Again, I don't want the same to happen to someone else who's ace. I hope that they can discover themselves. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.
fun section.
Hi there, Plush here. Happy Valentine's... frack. Edit out section in case it's not actually Pride Month anymore. In celebration of such, I'm taking this of depression, anxiety, and while it didn't ever really get me going, it did get plenty of it. I did get plenty, and right. I also didn't know that love and sex is okay. No, I didn't repeat that. At least nowadays, I fight off any trans care in my area is basically non-existent until
So
unless
true, yes.
might be why we've already. It might be why we've always quit the ace voice crack. Jesus Christ. We as a community should be providing. We as a community should be proving these people wrong, get the proper facts to them, and not let these rampant lies. We as a community should. God, I am really falling apart towards the end of this script. We as a community should not. Frack. We as a community should be providing these. Why do I keep saying providing? God dang it. We as a community should be proving these people wrong, giving the proper facts, and not letting these rampant lies, why can't I say misinformation properly? God dang it. Taking a second.
I am gonna be honest. I do think that this has been my best video of all time. Just outright. Might not have points that everyone agrees with, but it's like my biggest comment other than the fact that the the only thing I really have is that the joke at the start where I say Happy Pride Month and then show that it's the 30th and go frick. The frick sounds like it's the exact same mic quality and tone of voice as everything else in the video, to the point where you don't realize it. Because, fun fact, this was released on the last day of Pride Month. And that was kind of intentional, specifically for that joke, but still, I could have done that joke a bit better. Otherwise, honestly, other than, getting a little bit unfocused at
specifically the point where I talk about like 2017, I think it's my best video. But that's also probably like bias on my end. Anyways, we are down to the last video, one that I released 2 months ago where I complain about making videos being hard. And this one is not an edited one, or not much edited. Hi there, Blush here. Look, I'm just gonna say it. Video making is a little bit difficult for me. I've been kind of trying to work on a video over the last, like, how long has it been? A few months maybe? And every time that I get to the point of trying to record, I just kind of freeze up, I guess you could say. It's not easy for me to actually record something. And I'm not entirely sure why. I'll be able to have, like, my script up on my right screen here, and then have like the audio recording stuff in front of me, and then I just go hit record and I just don't. It could be something like blank canvas syndrome or whatever it's called. I'll link a video by Duchess Celestia talking about it, but just either way, that's the main reason why there hasn't been any videos in a while, is because I just suck at doing it. Because either A, I can't get myself to record for one reason or another, even though I have everything already scripted and ready, or B, I do get something recorded, I go to editing, and then I just scrap it because my brain just doesn't like it. It's a weird cycle, and I'm trying to get myself out of it. Like, I don't know what to really do. That's why I'm just sort of making this, because it seems like it's mostly... It doesn't happen with streaming. It doesn't happen when recording something short like this. So, I don't know why it happens. Hopefully I can get past it, because the next video is going to be a banger, let me tell you. Let's just say the next planned video is about scammers, and that video is going to have a lot to it. It's gonna be fun. But that's all from me. Enjoy your day. Let's see, I did this video 2 months ago. I am still working on that video about scammers, mostly because every time I return to it, there's something new I gotta add to it. It's a lot. So that video might actually not come out before the video that, like, me doing this stream is for, which is, you know, going over all my past videos and just talking about them. Because I am going to make an actual script at some point where I actually go through the videos in a bit more depth than I did in this stream. So that's something I'll be working on throughout this month and next month. And I hope to get out by, like, before the end of the year. But we'll just have to see. But otherwise, that is pretty much it. This is a thing I'm gonna remove because it is not necessary whatsoever. And yeah, that is the PlushieSpeaks channel as of right now. Hopefully I'll be able to get the scammer video a bit more done. We'll have to see. So I'm gonna switch to the chat room for a moment, because that's basically the stream. Wasn't exactly planning on doing anything else after. So I need to see who is live. Because I don't know who is live. Oh yeah, you have a good night as well. None of the channels I follow are live. You know what? I might just end it then. So, yep. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoy your night. And, you know, just all the good stuff with that. Take care.